What is ripping? This is Sports Rage. I am Gabe Morency, the pimps, the players, the hustlers, the people that bust them, and everybody else in between, from California to Costa Rica, Montreal, Montana, Mississippi, Missouri, and everywhere else in between. Let's motherfucking do this thing. Our second night kicking it live in the SBR forum room on YouTube. We had a great time last night, and let me load up the chat right now as we speak. But yeah, we had a great time last night with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the maiden voyage last night. It was a holiday, but there's no rest for the wicked, and that's the thing. When you're in the sports business and you're in the gambling industry, there really are no holidays, because whenever there's a holiday, that's actually when there's a bunch of games going on. So we're ready to rock and roll here tonight. If you're new, if you're wondering who the fuck is this guy and what the hell's going on right now, where's the big man on campus? Big man on campus, he's too big of a star to be on this late at night. He's too big of a star to be on this late at night. So he's on earlier in the day. He's on all the time. So, you know, they put people like me on in the middle of the night. Although, you know, for me, this is relatively early. But the big man on campus was with us last night. We had an epic conversation, and you know, he's a great guy. And right after the show last night, he's like, dude, I want to come on Friday night where we can really go long and go late. And, you know, speaking of which, actually, and shout out to our boy, Zach. Zach's in the chat here right now. Zach Jones from SBR. What up, Zach? Zach is the one that made all of this happen to bring Sports Rage to the SBR family. Yet Zach found out last night what every station manager and every network I've ever been on has found out. I like to go a little bit over time. And, you know, I like to give the viewers a bang for their buck, even though it's free. And I like to give the sponsors a bang for their buck. I'm not one of these dudes that's looking at the clock thinking, all right, when's this show over? You know, we were scheduled to go to 12 o'clock last night to midnight. I think I went to about 12:50. I could have went later, but, you know, always leave them wanting more, so to speak. But poor guys over at SBR, after one show, already got the DMs and emails today. Listen, you know, our guy kind of has to leave around like 12:30 at the latest. And, you know, how long is this show going to be tonight? It's like, hey, if you guys want, I can go exactly 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds, and bam, get out of here. I can't do it. There's too much to say. There's too much stuff to get to. There's too much stuff to get to. So welcome back to everybody who was with us last night. First off, I know I have a lot of regulars here. We're sort of merging high schools here. As you know, we've been doing this show for years. We've been doing it on Patreon over the summer on a subscription basis. So our guys are all going to roll in here. Our guys are always fashionably late. You got a regular SBR crew. Yet I explained to you last night. So my name is Gabriel Morency. This show is called Sports Rage. I've hosted this show for 16 years, I think on about 7 or 8 different radio stations. We've been on TV for the last 15, 16 years as well. But Sports Rage has always been our uncensored show. I can't swear on TV. I can't call Roger Goodell a stupid fuckhead on national television like I just did here right now. So a lot of stuff to get to. And I'm going to run the gauntlet here. We're going to get to some sports talk. Last night, Donnie Rightside, partner in crime, big man on campus, was with us. Tonight, Donnie Rightside is with us. So we have another announcement to make. If you like us, that's a good thing, because you got more of us. Me and Donnie Rightside every Sunday morning, starting this Sunday, NFL football. We're going to be on for 1 hour, all right? We're going to be on for 1 hour before the games, from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, giving you our best bets, breaking down the games, injuries, line movement, props, all that cool stuff. And then even cooler, when the first game goes to halftime, all right? So, you know, write this down. When the first game goes to halftime on Sundays, we're going to come on live right here. Stay with you until the last game is off the board. So we're going to give you our thoughts on all the halftime lines, you know, for every NFL football game. After that, you know, you're on your own for a couple of hours. But Zach's a nut job, and he wants to do like a Sunday night betcast thing as well. So we'll get to that. But I can tell you we're going to kick it We're going to be kicking it this Sunday morning with Donnie Rightside, and Donnie Rightside is going to join us tonight. And, of course, big man on campus and Donnie Rightside, these guys are Philly guys, and is actually reporting that the Miami Dolphin Tampa Bay Buccaneer game actually might be played in Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. Like, I don't know how that makes sense, but like I said, nothing that Roger Goodell does make sense. You know that this motherfucker makes like $44 million a year? Think about that. You know, he just signed a 5-year contract extension, all right? And you think, all right, 5 years, $44 million, that would be fair for Goodell. Yeah, all right, you're making a little more than $8 million a year. Roger Goodell's making $44 million a year. The best players in the league, you know, Tom Brady's making like 15. I know he makes less because he takes the hometown discount, but, you know, Le'Veon Bell is actually a superstar. Motherfucker can't get 13, 14 out of the Steelers. Yeah, Roger Goodell's walking around making $44 million a year. Yeah, let me ask you, what is like one thing that Roger Goodell has ever done well? Like, what's one thing that you're like, all right, I hate the Patriots. And even I can admit, he fucked up the Deflategate. Shouldn't have taken 2 years. You know, the concussion stuff. You know, the lawsuits, the concussions. They don't even want to pay the fucking cheerleaders $50 a game. You know, you go down the list of things that Goodell has messed up, and here's another one right now. And here's another one right now with Ezekiel Elliott. And I'll tell you guys right now, I've said this for years. I warn people. You know, I may look like a dim-witted, middle-aged bald man, but I know what's going on. And I told people, be careful with Ezekiel Elliott, man. You draft this kid, you're gonna, you're warned. So I've never been a big Ezekiel Elliott guy. He's a hell of a football player, but he's a fuck-up, like most players are that play for Urban Meyer, okay? There's a higher probability. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again to clarify. No offense to anybody in Ohio right now, but you know it's true. More times by Chris Hansen on Dateline than any other fucking state in the country. By far. I've seen more dudes get busted on Dateline trying to meet fucking 14-year-olds in a library somewhere wearing Ohio State Buckeye hoodies than I've ever seen any other team. That's just a fucking fact, all right? That's just a motherfucking fact. So anyways, I'm not Ezekiel Elliott's biggest defender. But let's be real here. I'm not really sure what Ezekiel Elliott did, and Roger Goodell's power has gone too far. If he wasn't criminally charged, there's no suspension, Goodell. All right? And this story has changed like 13 times during the day today. From his suspension, it's upheld. No, he beat it. He's playing in week 1. He's suspended. And it's a little bit of everything. It's very confusing. And only in Roger Goodell's world. Now, listen, Goodell, Commish. Maybe if you didn't fucking decide to only suspend Elliott a couple of weeks ago, and you waited so damn long to do it. Why? Because Jerry Jones is going to the Hall of Fame? Oh, we didn't want to overshadow it? I'm sure Jerry Jones would have preferred that you announce this in July so they could have dealt with this and it could have went through the courts. And Jerry Jones has had your back, Goodell, despite the fact you're a shit-ass fucking commissioner. And now you throw him under the bus. It's a confusion. It's a distraction for the Dallas Cowboys coming into this football game. Is he playing? Is he not playing? So the record is now, Ezekiel Elliott is playing this week. He is playing on Sunday. And then he's suspended for 6 games. Then he's suspended for 6 games, and then he can come back. I'm speechless. I don't know. And I got to tell you what. We're all on the fucking clock right now as far as week 1 of the National Football League is concerned. And, man, it's chaos across the board. You know, so now Elliott's playing, but only in this game. And now Odell Beckham Jr. might not be playing in this football game. Brandon Marshall is banged up in this football game. Nobody knows where the hell the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Miami Dolphins are going to be playing. And, you know, does it matter? I would say so. I would say so. You know, I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this football game, but, you know, now, you would say that it's an advantage for Tampa Bay that Okay, it's not in Miami. It's a neutral field. That's advantage for Tampa Bay. But is it? It's an in-state game. A lot of Buck fans would have been there. It's not like the Miami Dolphins. I don't think the Dolphins sell out their fucking home openers. All right? Like, what was the last time the Dolphins sold out a football game? I think Bob Greasy was the quarterback, and I don't even think they sold out in those days. Like, seriously, when they ran the table, there's empty seats everywhere. All right? It's not like the Dolphins have some dominant home field advantage or anything anyways. So, to me, it's worse for Tampa Bay that this game is being moved, actually. But if you're the Miami Dolphins, and this is why it's all up in the air, and another thing is Goodell's a fuck-up, so who knows what he's going to come up with. Figure it out. You know, these guys, you have two teams trying to prepare. They don't even know what city they're going to be playing in right now. And, this is interesting because they both have a bye week in week 11. So ideally, you could say, well, listen, you both have a bye week in week 11. You got to sacrifice your bye week. But that leads to a competitive imbalance. And the fact of the matter is, the Dolphins don't want to play this game this weekend now. They don't want to lose their home game. All right, the Dolphins don't want to lose their home game because they've already given up a home game. They're going to London to play against the Saints. So, and, listen, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so I don't like the Miami Dolphins, but I can tell you, it's ridiculous if these guys are only going to have 6 home games this year because of one fucking storm on a weekend. Then that's ridiculous, even though it looks like a kick-ass storm that's coming. So the Dolphins want to get this pushed back, but they don't want to give up a bye week. Tampa Bay is saying, fuck that. We're not giving up our bye week. Let's just play the game somewhere else. So I don't know. To me, it makes the most sense that they just play in Atlanta. You got the Georgia Dome. You got that new stadium. I don't understand. Is it a weather issue? They're saying that it's not enough notice, but we've seen Buffalo and Detroit pull this off on short notice. It's chaos right now. Like I said, so there's a reason for everything. And I don't know what the reason for Atlanta is. You got your new stadium. I don't know. It's like the Falcons. They don't want the Dolphins opening it. It's already been open. Alabama opened your fucking stadium. All right. Alabama opened the stadium. I think Nick Saban has the second or third most wins in the city of Atlanta for a football coach in the history of the Falcons organization. And Nick Saban's never coached there. You know what I'm saying? Nick Saban owns the city of Atlanta. And I think he's 15-1 or something like that. I think he literally lost once. He might have lost to Tebow in Atlanta once. But it makes sense to me, Atlanta. It's the next state over. It's the state line. All the fans could go. And when I say all the fans, all 12 Miami Dolphin fans. So, to me, you should play this game somewhere else. Figure it out. Play it in Carolina. Play it in Atlanta. Keep it in the South. Keep it in the South. Yet, like I said, ESPN reported about 2 hours ago, actually, that both Pittsburgh and Philadelphia Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Yeah, how about this? Move it to San Diego. You got an empty stadium there. You tell these teams, listen, you're both fucking warm weather teams. We got a warm weather location with an NFL fucking stadium. Yeah, if I was the city of San Diego, I'd say, you know what, Goodell, blow me. Blow me. Good luck finding a stadium, guys. I don't know how hard this is. Seriously. I know that there's not 32 good quarterbacks in America, but there's how many fucking football stadiums are there in the States? Figure it the fuck out, Goodell. This should already be decided right now. It should already be decided. Like I said, I don't know what the deal is. Play it in Georgia. Play it at the Georgia Dome or the other stadium. I don't know. Is something booked there? What's going on there? The Falcons are on the road this weekend. Georgia Tech just played there. The Georgia Bulldogs aren't playing there. They play in Athens, but they're not playing a special game there. So what do you got? You got a fucking car show? I don't know. And Atlanta's close. It's both the lines. Atlanta, Florida, and Georgia. The world's biggest cocktail party. It's the state line. That fucking band called State Line is fucking State Line. My state line is the casino. on California and Nevada's border. But anyways, go to Atlanta. You got 2 fucking domes there. Like I said, like, figure it out. All right, so Jim Beam in the house. Thank you, John Marino. I appreciate that. I believe I am smarter than Roger Goodell. No, I don't. Probably not. That's not true. He makes $44 million a year. I don't. But I'll tell you what. I'm less evil than he is. I'll give you that. I'm less evil. I'm less evil than he is. All right, Jim Bean. I thought it was like a little Jim Bean, but it's Jim Bean. What's up, Jim Bean? My premium play for Sunday. Premium, dude. Well, as I was just saying, this is a chaotic week 1, guys, and we'll go through some of this stuff, but it's pretty chaotic, man. But I'll tell you right now, I like the Titans and the Raiders to go over 51 points. And it's even coming down to 50.5 right now at some spots. I think the Titans and the Raiders is going to be a track meet shootout game. I like that game to go over the number. I like the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets to stay under the number. It's an even 40 right now. Tyrod Taylor has been cleared to play, but that doesn't mean he's going to play well. And anybody that watched, I'm a Buffalo Bill fan. So anyone who watched the Buffalo Bills in the preseason, and I did, their offense was putrid, all right? They scored 1 touchdown. They scored 1 touchdown. Like, their starting offense. Like, they've got issues. You look at Jordan Matthews has been injured. The guy got hurt in the first practice with the Buffalo Bills. He has no chemistry whatsoever with Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor's been out for the last 2 weeks with a concussion. He's got no chemistry with Matthews. Zay Jones, those are the Buffalo Bills starting wide receivers. So you got Jordan Matthews and you got Zay Jones. Zay Jones never caught a pass in the National Football League regular season football game before. All right, so even with Tyrod Taylor being the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, I don't see the Bills' offense being an explosive one. Now, the total is low. I get it. It's 40 points. But the New York Jets are not going to score. Like, the Jets might score 6 points. They might score, a touchdown and a field goal type of deal. I'd really be surprised if the Bills allowed more than 10 points in this football game. I think this is going to be an ugly-ass game, man. I think the Bills win this football game like, 20-6 or something. Bunch of field goals from Hoshka. LaShawn McCoy pops a run or two. I got to tell you, though, everyone's got Survivor fever, and I like the Buffalo Bills in Survivor. And I don't mind sharing that with you because I know no one's going to be stupid enough and ballsy enough to want to take the Bills in a Survivor here. But I think the Bills are a Survivor play. I got to be honest with you, Jim. It's earlier in the week right now, and I need to come up with like 1 million picks. I got like a bunch of entries into the Vegas Super Contest, and I don't see 5 games that I like right now. But I'll tell you what I'm leaning with right now. My top play will be the Raiders and the Titans over the number. I think the Redskins and the Eagles go over the number, and Donnie Rightside is going to join me at about 10:30 Eastern time. So in about 10 minutes' time, Donnie Rightside will step up and in. And we'll talk about this Eagle game. The Redskins have owned these guys. They've won 5 in a row against Philadelphia. They've covered 6 in a row. They beat them 8 of the last 10 times they've covered. They're 8-2 in the last. So add that up. Redskins 8-2 ATS last 10 against the Eagles. 5-0 straight up last 5. And 6-0 ATS last 6. All right. So, and you look at that division. You look at the NFC East, and the NFC East has always been like that. There's always been these matchups. This team beats that team beats this team. And I'm kind of, I'm drinking the green Kool-Aid a little bit with the Philadelphia Eagles coming into this year. I'm high on Carson Wentz. I like their offense. I think they're going to throw the ball for fantasy purposes and props. I keep your eye on Zach Ertz, and we'll have some props for you Sunday morning. But Should the Philadelphia Eagles really be favored in this football game? Like, I get it. The Redskins look like crap in the preseason. And a lot of times teams look good in the preseason. It doesn't mean anything. A game that I like, and I talked about this earlier today on the Fantasy Sports Network, a game that I like is the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco 49ers getting 5.5. And I know it sounds a little out there, but there's going to be some upsets, guys. Not everything is, all right, we'll take the favorite here, and this is obvious there. There's going to be some upsets along the way here. And, yeah, I'm kind of high on Carolina this year. I don't think they're like Carolina good like they were 2 years ago, Carolina good, but I think, McCaffrey's the real deal. He's going to make some plays for them. Their offense is more dynamic. Benjamin looks good. He came in overweight, but he's worked the weight off. He looked really good in the preseason. McCaffrey looks like the real deal. Samuels is good, but he's still very young. But in Carolina, with all that being stated, Cam Newton is kind of erratic. Their offensive line blows. I look at this football game, and I think the total is too high at 48. I'm not really sure where the odds makers are coming here with the total being so high. And I guess they're going by last year's numbers. And the San Francisco 49ers gave up 30 points a game last year. But that was last year. And if you look at the roster, you look at the roster and the talent that they have on the defensive side of the football right now with San Francisco. And I've watched the 49ers play in the preseason this year. And our boy Druzilla's in the house from New York, a big Bama fan in the NYC. And Reuben Foster, so he knows all about Reuben Foster. But Reuben Foster fell in the draft because of his shoulder. Yet Reuben Foster's fucking destroying other people's shoulders right now. The guy is a bullet, fuck. They should forget about Hurricane Irma. Call it Hurricane Reuben. This guy hits you with bad intentions, man. Bad intentions. Now, the 49ers are a couple of years away still. But I'm telling you right now, they're not going to be a fun team to play. All right? They're going to hit you hard. They're going to come at you. Shanahan's a good play caller, and he was, except for the last quarter of the Super Bowl, but that's besides the point. Shanahan's a good coach. First time he's ever been a head coach, but he's a good coach. He's worked with Hoyer before. I'm a Carlos Hyde fan. I think Carlos Hyde is good. You look, you got Pierre Garçon, you got Marquise Goodwin. This Trent Taylor kid, Trent Taylor out of Louisiana Tech. Somebody keep your eye on as well. I like Pierre Garçon. Garçon's not sexy, he's not flashy and stuff, but he's effective. He'll get you a first down. It's like Seinfeld when George was giving away the scholarships. Smart kid. He can read. I'm not telling you Garçon's the best. He can get you a first down. I do like Carlos Hyde. And when Carlos Hyde is healthy, he's an effective running back. All right? But defensively, man, this is where they come at you. Defensively. If you're wondering, Elmas Doomerville, actually, on the San Francisco 49ers right now. But DeForest Buckner, remember him? They've been racking up the draft picks, man. DeForest Buckner is a baller. Tank Carradine, Eli Harold, Bowman. Their linebackers are great. You got Navarro Bowman, Reuben Foster, and Rashard Robinson. They got a decent secondary with Eric Reed, Jimmy Ward, and Dante Johnson. Like I said, they're probably a 5-win football team. Their win total is 4.5. So they're probably, I think they're a 5-win football team. When I did my season previews, I did them earlier in the season to beat everybody out of the gate. And I might have been a little bit harder on the Rams and nicer to the 49ers, but because I had the 49ers ahead of the Rams, and I'm not sure that's the case. But the thing, and this is another thing, the San Francisco 49ers have won outright 6 consecutive season openers, a franchise record, which, that's one of those That's like one of those unexplainable type of phenomenons. That's like one of those unexplained phenomenons. Like, think about it. The San Francisco 49ers have never won, all right? They've never won 6 straight season openers in their fucking franchise history until the last 6 years. The last 4 years, they've been terrible. Like, think about that. Joe Montana and Steve Young combined were never able to pull that off to win 6 consecutive years to win the game 1 of the season. Even they couldn't pull that off, yet these stiffs have. Jim fucking Tom Sula, the guy that looks like the first dude your mom dates after the divorce. Jim Tom Sula, even Jim Tom Sula fucking won. Remember 2 years ago when the Minnesota Vikings were a dominant football team? They lost on the road to San Francisco in week 1. All right. You know, we've been all football. We've been all football, but I got the Boston Red Sox game on here right now. Toronto Blue Jays, and I like the Saints Paul as well, actually. I'd like him a little bit more if Willie Snead wasn't suspended, but I see the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays, I heard Buck Martinez say earlier, the Blue Jays haven't won back-to-back games on the road in over a month. Well, you know, I wish I would have known about this with the old, the Applegate. The old Applegate. So, you know, we find out, is there a fucking team from Boston that's not cheating? And fucking Apple. It's like Siri knows. I'm coming for you, Siri. No, Boston College did cheat, Paul. They were throwing games. Boston College did cheat. They were throwing games. I guess the Red Sox figured, oh, well, I don't know, it works for the Patriots, right? So hey, why not us? Even, I guess we got the Boston Bruins. I can't even get fucking Siri. Siri won't open right now. I wanted to ask Siri a simple question. I swear I fucking hate Apple, man. I hate Apple more than the fucking Red Sox or the Yankees do. So yeah, we'll get to this story with Donnie Rightside. I don't even know how to turn this fucking thing off. Fucking piece of crap. Slide to power off. Yeah, power off. How do I power on? Power on. $50,000. I was in Las Vegas, Nevada for that football game. No one even had a money line. It's like the people that tell you, oh, I was on Buster Douglas the night he beat Tyson. Yeah. I watched that fight live. I couldn't get a bet in anywhere on it. This is what happens. I try to, this is why I'm not a prop comic. Try to bring a prop. I swear to God, a simple prop. You know what I mean? What if I was on the fucking Leno show right now? Fucking prop comic. Sign into iCloud. I don't even know what iCloud is. Go fuck yourself. Cancel. It's like Siri is gone. like Siri, I wanted to ask Siri why she helps the Red Sox cheat, but I can't. She won't answer. She won't even turn on. Fucking piece of shit. Really is a piece of shit. You fucking blow. Apple's like the biggest scam, man. You're a scam. All right, so this is the deal here. One of baseball's oldest rivalries is embroiled in the most 21st century controversies. Major League Baseball prepares to discipline the Boston Red Sox. So it's not even allegedly. A baseball official with direct knowledge of the investigation told USA Today Sports that the probe includes the unauthorized use of cellular phones and noted the practice occurred against other teams. That's why you're losing tonight. Oh, they tied it. Fuck. You fucking cheating son of a bitches. God, you suck, Toronto. You're just, really, you're terrible, Toronto. You can't win back-to-back games in over a fucking month? What do you get paid to do? At least 4 Red Sox players. The Times reports that the Red Sox use an elaborate relay system involving video replay personnel, a trainer, and players in the dugout to pass along signs from the opposing team to their own batters. Well, the report cited other teams from which the Red Sox stole sides. It primarily occurred against the New York Yankees. They're going to love that in the Bronx. The system was uncovered by the Yankees themselves. The Yankees videotaped the process during a 3-game series at Fenway last month. Times reports that the video provided the commissioner's office shows Red Sox assistant athletic trainer John Jochum, just the same fuckhead that was blown up and deflating those footballs, looking at his Apple Watch, then passing along a signal to outfielder Brock Holt and second baseman Dustin Pedroia, who was on the disabled list at the time. The video then purposely shows Pedroia passing the information to teammate Chris Young on second base, who then relays it to the batter. New York Yankee outfielder Brett Gardner says, there's always a game within the game, but this is taking it too far with the use of electronics. The Red Sox filed a cross complaint against the New York Yankees, alleging that the Yankees use Yes Television Network cameras at Yankee Stadium to steal signs during their games. Joe Girardi says, no chance. We're not doing that. Listen, this is like seeing, 2 rich guys argue over a hot chick. And let's bring Donnie Rightside in right now. This is like watching 2, Yankees and Red Sox. But the fact of the matter is, Boston's history of cheating leads us to take the New York Yankees side on this. So let's bring in Donnie Rightside. What's going on, Donnie?
What's good, Gabe? Yeah, just listen to a couple minutes on that right there. I mean, how great is this story? I mean, you're cheating on Apple Watches, but the best part about the story to me is you go from one side like, yeah, by the way, we caught them using Apple, and we zoomed in, and then the Red Sox come back and be like, yeah, you use illegal cameras. That's why you caught us here, so countersuit. Imagine that in the AL East, right?
Yeah, and like I said, it's like watching 2 rich guys argue over a Lamborghini or something. It's like you're both fuckheads, the Red Sox and the Yankees. But then I said earlier, and I was kind of kidding, everything's in jest here on Sports Rage, but I was saying, is there a team in fucking Boston that doesn't cheat? And somebody in the chat, Paul, said, yeah, man, Boston College, they don't cheat. That's why they suck. I said, no, you're forgetting the match fixing.
30 for 30, yeah.
The point shaving. Yeah. For years. I had Henry Hill on my show, actually. I had Henry Hill on, the inspiration of Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
Yeah, I had him on my show. And he actually talked about fixing games and going back to Boston College in the 70s, actually. Everything's shady in Boston. Whitey Bulger. Look at Kennedy. Kennedy's a Boston guy. The guy was he's the biggest cheater ever, that guy. It's in their game. I'm with the Bronx on this one, Donnie. Which side are you on here? I'm on Team Bronx, man.
I mean, I got to go to. First of all, I was one of those kids growing up, and even when I got a little bit older, I'm a Philly guy through and through. But I rooted against Boston every single year because in Philadelphia, we don't win many championships, and I wanted them to have that pain as well. And I guess it went opposite as me because the Red Sox continually win World Series, the Patriots continue to win Super Bowls, Boston continues to win Stanley Cups. I mean, what gives on that? So yeah, I'm a Boston hater overall. Yes.
And you know what's even worse, dude? It's going to get worse. The Boston Celtics are loaded for the next decade.
Yeah, here they come. Yeah.
They're loaded for the next decade. I got to be honest with you, though. I'm so fired up for football, and I'm such in a football frame of mind. You know, I've been paying attention to the baseball a bit, but I get sidetracked. It's a great time of the year right now, but I was in Vegas. I was in football mode, but the Dodgers in a free fall, 1-9. You got the D-backs are crushing it right now, 11 in a row. None of that could get my interest, but Applegate could. Apple Watch Gate could. But let's talk some football right now. You are in Philadelphia. ESPN's actually reporting the Dolphins and the Bucks potentially could be played in either Philadelphia or Pittsburgh. Are you hearing that?
No, absolutely hearing that. I did see that come across the wire a little while ago. One of the beat writers for the Philadelphia Eagles did tweet that out. It's kind of interesting. I heard you earlier on the show, Gabe. I mean, it's one thing moving it logistically and putting it in Philadelphia, but doesn't this work out perfectly since they both have the same bye weeks? Why not just put it at week 11? It's almost like the NFL teams are so say, well, we can't lose our bye. That's going to lose, our competitive advantage. We can rest up at that point. But why would you put a game on the road? You lose the home gate. The Dolphins lose the home game. Why not just postpone it and put it in week 11?
Yeah, I think the Dolphins want to do that because, and I brought it up, Donnie, look, the Dolphins already gave up a home game. They're playing against the Saints in London this year.
Yeah, yep.
And how can you, it's bad enough. You're going to play 6 games, only 6 home games. That really could sabotage your season, even if the Dolphins don't have a distinct, great home field advantage. I agree with you. That sort of makes the most sense right there. Or I could live with telling these guys, like, how far is Miami to Florida? Like, literally. Like, how long would it take? We're going to do it like that right now. How long
is Miami to Florida? Probably pretty close, Gabe.
Not Miami to Florida. Sorry, Miami to Atlanta.
Well, what, 650 miles? Something like that, maybe? Something like that?
How long is the drive? I don't even think it's that far. How long is the drive from Miami to Atlanta?
500 miles, somewhere in that range?
Yeah, you called it. 662 miles.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, hey.
9 hours. That's further than I thought it was, actually. Further than I thought it was. Like I said, these big-ass fucking states, man, because it's on the border there. But nevertheless, Atlanta, it's in the South. You can play it indoors at one of the stadiums. You still got the Georgia Dome. You got the new stadium there. I would imagine that they don't play this game, though, Donnie, this week. I think they're going to end up they're going to bite the bullet and say you guys just lose your bye week.
Well, the big man on campus says you can't play in Atlanta. Atlanta United is playing there on Sunday. So, a huge soccer game, so to speak. But then again, Gabe, they got 2 domes about that. They got 2 of them.
Okay, yeah, listen. So Atlanta United on Sunday. So what? These fucking guys can't transform a football field into a soccer pitch in one day? And you got the Georgia Dome.
You got the Georgia Dome. You got both of them. And again, Atlanta United is playing their game. Put that game at a high school field somewhere, right? Come on.
So you and Big Man don't share the passion for the beautiful game. Say you're not the same because you're thinking you're like you got to be fucking kidding me. We're moving an NFL game for you fuckheads right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean there's multiple places you can play that at. Again, yeah, Paul Tenora says there in the chat box that's why you can use Bobby Dodd. I mean there's multiple places you can put the game at. But I agree, Gabe. I mean if you're the Dolphins, you want a competitive advantage. Your competitive advantage is a home game in this scenario. Why would you just fight tooth and nail to get this moved to week 11? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the thing. They both have different agendas on this right now. But without being stated, so Donnie, it changes everything, though. And I've been saying this, and I don't mean to be redundant, but the fact of the matter is, this is a twisted week 1, isn't it, coming into the NFL? The uncertainties. We got a Buccaneer game, and I like the Bucs in this game before all this stuff happened. So I like the Bucs in this game, but now there's a lot of unknowns. We've got the Dallas Cowboys. So Elliott's playing, but now we don't know if Beckham is going to be playing. Brandon Marshall is banged up. Tyrod Taylor, late addition, point spread's 9.5 right now. Joe Flacco is going to be playing, but the guy's in practice. He's rusty. Harbaugh even admits that he's behind the curve right now. Andrew Luck is out. Somebody brought it up earlier to me today, and they said, this is essentially, it's almost like week 5 of the preseason almost, Donnie, even though these games count this week.
No, you're absolutely right, Gabe. Just take a look at from a Philadelphia perspective, the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, if the starters, honestly, Gabe, played more than one quarter combined through the first 4 games, that would be a lot. And we all know conditioning, again, the goal of the preseason in the NFL is basically to stay healthy. But you want to stay healthy by getting lucky through the preseason. You play a couple series in the first game. You play the first quarter in the second game. You play a full half in the third game. Then you rest up in the fourth game. Philadelphia Eagles were pulling starters in the first quarter of the third game. So conditioning might be a factor. And I haven't checked the weather reports or anything down in Washington yet. But if it's a really hot day, yes, they've been practicing. It's been hot. I get all that. But until you simulate a game situation, Gabe, just look at college football this weekend. Guys dropping like flies in the second half of every single ball game.
Yeah, cramps, groins, yes. You're right, dropping. You're exactly right. And another thing that you raise up here, Donnie, and it's a good call by you, and I want to emphasize this as well. What do we see as well? And in college football, we saw a ton of points being put up on the board for the most part. And we were going to see this, I think, coming into the NFL this week. As you stated, the starters barely played. There was carnage. There was a ton of injuries in the preseason. Coaches were very concerned about the injuries. Mm-hmm. Starters seem to play less in the preseason than ever, really. They tackle less, Donnie, in practice as well now.
Barely at all, some teams.
No one knows how to tackle anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, nobody knows. No one wraps up like butt kiss in the old days, the old, bear hug all the way down, the old wrap up. I'm going to wrap you up. They launch now. They throw their bodies. You'll see the DBs stick their arms out. It's like basketball defense. You know what I mean? I'll sort of fake it, put my hand up like I look like it, but DBs are like, I'm not trying to tackle David Johnson. So, they might throw their body at him or try to, the big, I'll push him out of bounds. We don't see tackling anymore. And you just brought it up. So many teams in the NFL barely played their starters at all. Now there's going to be live bullets flying around. I would expect to see a hell of a lot of sloppy tackling, which could lead to some points. But we need to look for the right conditions. I'm not talking across the board. Yep. We could have weather factors. There could be some injury factors, etc. But I do think that, lack of tackling and conditioning could be an issue in week 1 here.
No, you're right about that. Again, looking at the key components or some games that might stick out to you, saying, one of these teams is offense. One of the teams I'm highest on, and the quarterback I'm highest on, is actually Kirk Cousins. I know you talked about it early in the show. For some reason, the Washington Redskins have the Philadelphia Eagles numbers. They match up very well with them. The one thing the Eagles are going to struggle with this year, hopefully Ronald Darby turns out to be a fantastic cornerback and fills a need for them. But you're looking at Pryor on one side, Crowder in the middle. They have a lot of weapons to get after you. Jordan Reed is a monster when he's healthy, and he should be healthy to start week 1 versus the Eagles. The Redskins, to me, going forward, and even in week 1, they're going to be not, 17-14, 21-17 type games, Gabe. They're going to be playing games in the 30 to win ball games. I look for the Philadelphia Eagles and also the Washington Redskins week 1 to get after it. A lot of passing in this game, a lot of scoring. You very easily see these teams both in the high 20s. Maybe the victor gets into the 30s in this one. That's the way I see that first one playing out here.
Yeah, I agree. And, your partner in crime, big man on campus. And what up, big man? He pulled the homer card out of the hat last night and said, I'm not a homer, but I like the Eagles here, right? And it's funny because I'm not a homer either. I like the Bills, even though it's 9.5. I wouldn't suggest laying a 9.5, but I do think they're going to beat them and cover anyways. But the thing is, should the Philadelphia Eagles actually be favored in this spot? And you mentioned it, and I brought this up too. I like Carson Wentz from a DraftKings perspective. He's cheap. He's $5,300. The Washington Redskins. I like Zach Ertz for props, and we'll talk about that on Sunday, Donnie. That's the thing. The props aren't posted yet, but can't wait to see. Maybe a nice Zach Ertz over 2.5, 3.5 receptions, man. He fucking has torched the Redskins over the years, all right? Yep. They gave up 114 receptions to tight end.
Did he have a double-digit game last year, Gabe, catch-wise against
10.
them? Yeah.
10 targets, 13 targets, 10 catches, 112 yards the first time they played last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can't stop them. But with that being stated, and you brought it up, and I was sort of drinking the green Kool-Aid a lot coming into this game, but I don't like the fact that the Eagles are favored now. And you brought up the numbers in week. I brought it up. 5-0 straight up last 5. 6-0. 6-0 ATS last 6. 8-2 ATS last 10. You're an NFC East guy.
Yep.
You know this, man. It's almost like a college conference where the same teams always beat each other all the time in the NFC East. And the Redskins always beat the Eagles. They just do.
Yeah, no, the Redskins own the Eagles. It's the same way the Eagles own the Giants. It's just one of those things that just match up. And again, there's a lot of these
Giants
games where
own the Cowboys, Donnie. The Giants go in and they always beat them in Dallas. It's like a reverse thing. It's like musical chairs in that division. And it's been that way for 40 years.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, looking at when the first schedule opened up and I saw the line come out, I was really digging Washington. I sort of go back and forth here because I like what the Eagles put together. I think they're going to be able to put up some points. I like the addition of the cornerback. They have a good back end with safeties. They're going to be able to get after the quarterback. But Gabe, again, I see it time. They go down the RX or a FedEx Field, excuse me, and they struggle down there. And what has changed overall? I mean, Kirk Cousins still eats the Eagles alive. Jordan Reed still eats the Eagles alive. And it's game one. Anything can happen. The Eagles, again, getting back to that point where they haven't had a lot of time to gel in the field. Alshon Jeffrey missed a lot of practice time. What did he catch? 1 or 2 passes in game time? I know he caught a touchdown in the game 3. I forget, was it the Dolphins? I believe it was the Dolphins they played in that game. But other than that, I mean, good luck. You're just going to show out, and it's going to be game time, and good luck, and you're on the road. And it's hard to win division football games on the road in the NFL.
I think a lot of people are really, really reacting to the Washington Redskins' poor performances in the preseason. You got to be careful with doing that. You got to be careful with doing that. So I told people I like the Titans and the Raiders game to go over the number. But I've been you look at the total of this football game in the 47.5 range. You got to like it I don't know if you're an anti-teaser type of guy, but if the Eagles are laying a point right now. And, I can get the Washington Redskins at +8, Donnie. +8 on a 7-point teaser, tease to the over. I like this. So let's look at the final scores of these teams. And you have to go back to 9 games, 10 games to where they stayed under 40 points. Last year, 27-22 Washington, 49. 27-20 Washington, 47. 38-24 Washington. The year before that in 15 gets up to 62. 23-20, the other game in 15. 2014, Washington, 27-24. 2014, Washington. They lose the game, but they were getting 4 points, and they lost by 3. 37-34. All right, they played a 24-16 game in 2013. The other game in 2013, they put up 60 points, 33-27. 2012, 27-20. And then the first game in 2012, 31-6. So what happened in 2012, not really correlated, but you guys get the picture here. The Redskins always beat them, and they always get into the mid to high 40s when they play each other.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles always, obviously NFC East games are going to be rivalries. It's very close-knit outside of Dallas being, a couple thousand miles away. But Dallas, for the longest time, was always the Eagles' main rival. Now it's shifted over, I would say, about the past 10 years to the New York Giants. But it almost seems like it's the same way with the fans. Like there's not a lot of hate for the Redskins. There's more hate for the Giants and the Cowboys. And maybe sometimes the Eagles play it off that way. They just take the Amtrak down there and just show up at FedEx Field. But again, I've been down there where the Eagles have won multiple times. But the past couple of years, it just seems Kirk Cousins has our number there.
All right, so the season kicks off, man. I guess in about 48 hours' time, we're going to be into the third quarter of the first game. And people are going to be saying one of two things. What the hell was I thinking in taking the Kansas City Chiefs against the Patriots in a season opener like this? Or B, damn, I knew I shouldn't have laid the 9 points. It was too high against the Kansas City Chiefs. Where are you leaning right now that we're less than 48 hours away from kickoff?
I get all that with, Kansas City and Andy Reid's not usually a dog of more than 6 points. Well, the line opened up at 7 to Chris, currently bet to 9. Pinnacle 7.5, currently sitting at 8.5. 73% of the public and 76% of the money are still sticking with New England. And again, good luck betting against New England at home. I don't care what the number is. I don't care who got hurt in the situation. This Kansas City Chiefs team, to me, Gabe, is not even as good as last year's Kansas City Chiefs team. So if you're going to go in on a very emotional night, Super Bowl trophy out there, Tom Brady's going to affect. He's got a lot of new toys out on the field. I don't know. Maybe Alex Smith's going to do that 3 yards in a cloud of dust offense just to try to keep it close and maybe win it in the fourth quarter. But I don't bet against the Patriots at home. It's not smart money. Very easily could see a game somewhere, 34-24, somewhere in that range, 34-17. But I don't see Kansas City covering. Will I be betting the game and leveling the boom because it's opening night? No, but not money well spent for me betting against the Patriots at home. Don't care what the number is.
Yeah, it's no one's getting rich betting against these guys. They're 9-3-3 at home since 2015 against the spread. All right, so Belichick.
I mean, like Bill Belichick out there, he's a master crafter at saying, "What do you do best? I'm going to take it away." Let's just say he takes Kelsey away at tight end in this game. Who's at wide out? Who's at running back? I mean, you're going to have a rookie. I mean, hey, I love the Mac, but you're going to have a rookie running back out there and just have some average wide receivers and say we're going to hang 24-27 on the Patriots. I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, this is where the Patriots get so dangerous. Everybody looks at the Patriots from the offensive side of the football, and so much emphasis, they lost Edelman. Whatever, dude. They said the same crap when they lost Welker, right?
And next white guy out. What are we going to do? Come on.
Exactly. Yeah, they won the Super Bowl without Gronk last year. Exactly.
Yep.
You're exactly right. But people aren't talking enough about the defense. Right now, so you're exactly right that's why, you said 34-17. I'm thinking that Andy Reid sort of can dink and dunk and sort of eat the clock up a little bit here.
Oh, he will use the timeout in that first half.
I'm thinking it's 24-17. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I never win when I bet unders, though. But defensively, where I'm going with this, so they bring in Stephon Gilmore for the Buffalo Bills. I think he's overpaid at $14 million a year, but Belichick obviously likes him if he's willing to pay him this money. It's very an anti-Belichick thing to do. And everybody said, they're going to trade Malcolm Butler when they got Gilmore. Well, no, they didn't. So now you got Tyreek Hill, who's really a gadget player. He's not a legitimate number one wide receiver. And now he's going to have Stephon Gilmore in his face.
Yep.
And now you're going to have Malcolm Butler on the other side against Conley. Conley's not keeping up anybody at night.
That means both safeties there. You can play bracket coverage on Kelsey. And again, we're not talking about a Kansas City offense that's explosive. This is Alex Smith dropping back, sees one-on-one coverage, and immediately checks down to a 3-yard running back out. Just what he does. I don't think that's going to work too well against the Patriots in this environment. Again, to me, it just boils down to I don't like Kansas City. I'm down on them this year. So good luck going into Foxborough with a pop gun offense and trying to knock out the world champions.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people are down on the Chiefs. And I'm a Bills fan, Donnie, as you know, and we've got a bunch of their draft picks, right? So, Bills fans are, hoping that the Chiefs really suck. And I'm telling them, listen, I'm not sure they're going to be that bad, actually. So, listen, earlier today on the Fantasy Sports Television Network, I did a correlation here, and I talked about UNLV. So, UNLV were 43-point favorites. They lost to Howard. I talked with Big Man on Campus about this last night. So, even though by definition they called it the biggest upset ever, it really isn't, because, UNLV suck, and they never should have been 43-point favorites against them.
Yep.
But you know where I see a correlation here is almost with the Buffalo Bills, Donnie. The Buffalo Bills are 9.5-point favorites right now, man. I get it. The Jets are probably a 1-15, 2-14, 0-16 football team. But you look at the Bills' offense in the preseason, non-existent with the number one unit. They traded. Well, it's been a dysfunctional training camp. They keep cutting everybody and trading everybody. Jordan, Matthews well. Matthews, good kid, but he got hurt. He got hurt in his first freaking practice with the Buffalo Bills. He couldn't get a chemistry going with Tyrod Taylor. Then Tyrod Taylor's been in the concussion protocol for the last 2 weeks. He gets hurt against the Ravens a couple of weeks ago. You got Zay Jones. All right, Zay Jones, talented kid out of East Carolina. This is a big step up now. He's going to be a starting wide receiver out of the gate here. It's not like he had a great preseason or camp or anything. He's been okay. So essentially, you've got LaShawn McCoy laying 9.5 points against the Jets. That's what it is. It's Shady McCoy laying 9.5 against the Jets. What's your take?
That's a lot of points when you look at it. Again, week one, the one thing I like about it, Gabe, is if you're looking to bet underdogs, it doesn't. Everybody's 0-0. They all think they can win the Super Bowl. They all think they can make the playoffs. Nobody really knows what our offensive scheme can be. So that's why you see some upsets in week one. The problem I have with is if Tyrod Taylor is upright in this game, Gabe, I don't see the Jets doing much because their offense is just not. Josh McCown's going to be out there. You saw against the Eagles. He almost went out with an injury in that game, and he's probably still, ribs really sore. And who are you going to go to? Hackenberg as a backup? To me, if I'm looking at this game, I love betting underdogs in the NFL, but I don't like betting underdogs, particularly on the road. I look for more that home dog type of angle. But you're right. The one thing that throws this game off is Tyrod Taylor. How clear is his mind? How healthy is he? how ready to play. Because if he's clear and it's true he passed concussion protocol, they shouldn't have too much of a problem beating the Jets. But again, do you envision Buffalo putting up, Gabe, 28 points, 31 points in this one?
No.
That's going to be tough to get to, and that's probably what you're going to need if you want to cover 10 points or so.
I think it's going to be like 20-6 or something. I think they can get there, but you got to be an idiot. No, I'm not a capper. I'm not selling picks, but I don't think too many guys are going to be telling people it's my 5-star lock of the week this week to take the Buffalo Bills in this spot. So you're talking about home dogs. I know you're watching the show earlier. I don't know if you caught me talking about the San Francisco 49ers, and it's amazing. They've won a franchise best 6 consecutive season openers to start the season. And it's incredible that Montana and Young and actually good 49er teams, even with Harbaugh's teams, couldn't do that. Here they are now getting 5.5 points against Carolina. What's your take on this game?
It's an interesting game because, again, Cam Newton coming into the season, with the shoulder injury, not throwing the football that much, that's going to be a key ingredient in that game because how much of the offense are they going to let loose? They're going to let him throw deep. They're going to let him throw it 30 times. Do they want him to run some read option in there? Cam Newton is going to be your future, obviously. He's your franchise quarterback. How much do you want to use him in this ball game? I'm looking at the odds screen right now. San Francisco showing undecided at quarterback, which is kind of interesting. But I do like the fact that you have a brand new coach opening up in a week 1 game. And again, Gabe, everybody's 0-0. The 49er quote-unquote faithful who have watched Drek the past couple seasons, they still have beliefs, hey, maybe it's a new season. Maybe the defense is going to play well. I'm not interested in a team going East Coast to West Coast and playing there and laying, 5.5 points, it looks like at Chris, 5 points at Pinnacle, 5.5 on BetOnline. Do I love the game? No, but I like taking a home underdog in that situation, especially as I don't know how well Cam Newton's going to play or how healthy he is at this point.
Yeah, and McCaffrey, it's interesting. McCaffrey makes his debut actually in the Bay Area. And I think McCaffrey can make some plays for Carolina. I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina wins this game. But Carolina used to open up against Seattle all the time. They'd open up the season. I remember they actually played Jacksonville 2 years in a row, about 5-6 years ago, whatever it was. And Carolina historically have opened up the seasons with these 13-9 type of games, 14-10.
Late comebacks, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they play these low-scoring, ugly-style football games. And Carolina, look at these teams. Carolina's just looking to win football games. You know what I mean? They're not looking for style points. They need to get, they need to get their confidence back. And they're going to do whatever it takes to win the football game. They're not going to come out here like a finesse team and, we're doing this and trick play that. I think they're going to line the ball up, and they're just going to try to play some smash-mouth football against San Francisco. Carolina has the advantage overall because San Francisco's, young on defense. They got talent, and they're, we don't know what they're going to bring on offense. But I got faith. Donnie, I swear to God, you're a big baseball guy. It's the hope springs eternal thing, like you just talked about.
Every time. Yes.
Bad teams you can win in week 1. That's when they're going to win. All right. So we've seen it with San Francisco 6 fucking years in a row. We see it with baseball, the home opener all the time. Hey, look, we won. It's like a playoff atmosphere. Everyone's fired up.
What was it last year or 2 years ago on Monday Night Football with San Francisco, Gabe? I believe they knocked off Minnesota. Yes, the same type
Vikings. The same Viking team that went like 14-2 or 13-3, whatever it was.
Yep. And made them look bad opening night, too.
Yeah. No, it's 6 years in a row. It's one of these uncanny things. I don't want to get in front of that. And you got Shanahan in his first ever game as a coach. And, I said, I don't think Carolina's going to roll stuff out. You're telling me that Kyle Shanahan doesn't have a couple of tricks up his sleeve in this football game?
Absolutely.
Maybe a little flea flicker, a reverse here. He's going to do some stuff. Carolina's secondary suspect as well, to say the least, Donnie, coming into the year. I don't know what it is with the Panthers and a refusal to want to pay defensive backs to play there, but they always just go with these no-name guys. It worked with them when they went to the Super Bowl. They had Josh Norman, and they were pulling guys in off the street and unretiring guys, but it caught up to them, and they really haven't done anything to address it this year either.
No, you're right about that. And Lou Skunt here, one of our favorite names on the chat box here at SBR, says, fuck, I never know what to expect in week 1. And he's right. By the way, Gabe, suicide pools.
I agree with you, Lou Skunt. I'll give you that.
I like to consider myself a good gambler, and I get a good read on it. I am the single worst suicide pool player and usually out every other year in week 1, Gabe. Honest to God.
You know what? I actually won one last year, Donnie. The only one I was in. 15 consecutive weeks it took me to do it. But I
could
did
never
it.
do that. Yep, I'm like one and done, or I make it to week 3 and I'm out.
Tomorrow night on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network, I'm doing a special actually on Survivor. We'll talk more Survivor throughout the week here as well. The big consensus Survivor pick is the Pittsburgh Steelers. What about the points in that game? No one wants to lay 9 points in week 1 on the road. No one gets rich laying 9 points on the road, even if it's
not in division either. Yeah. Yep.
It's the
but then again, if you looked at Cleveland all last year, Gabe, the sharp money week after week after week said Cleveland's going to get it done this week. Loss. Cleveland's going to get it done this week. Loss. Yeah. Cleveland's going to play the Cowboys this week. They're going to stun them. Loss. We saw it time and time again. Do I think they've turned the corner? But again, week 1, you're starting a rookie quarterback. You're already a bad organization. You don't really know what you have yet. And you're going against one of the single most talented teams in the NFL. It could get ugly here. The only saving grace, again, Gabe, is it's week 1. They're going to be, everybody's healthy. They're going to be ready for this football game. But honestly, I can't trust a rookie quarterback in this situation here. I can't.
All right, the chat is blowing up right now. We'll take a couple of questions. Let's let him throw some games at us, Donnie. But let me just tell something to you guys, all right? There are no fucking locks, okay? The only locks that exist are on bank vaults, all right? In Roger Goodell's house, he's got a lock in his safe room there to protect him and his $44 million a year that he makes. Like, I love, I see everyone throwing it out. Oh, the Lions are a lock. The Rams are a stone cold lock. First off, there's no such thing as a lock. It's week 1. Anything can happen. I'm in the Vegas Super Contest, and I'm scared shitless. I don't know how I'm going to find 5 picks I like here, Donnie. I'm going to have to force them, to be honest with you.
No, after week 1, you always do. It's hard to say. I don't know about not having locks in here. If we look on the chat box here, Philip Enriquez is saying Eagles are lock of the week 1. Hey, I hope it happens.
Yeah, well, we got a guy in the chat that said he won $50,000 on a $100 bet, too, on Howard. I don't know where he got the money line.
Okay. But, I like that screenshot on that one, yeah. Jonathan Nelson in the chat box here, Gabe. Donnie, Oakland versus Tennessee. What do you think? Gabe, you said you're on the over in that game. Is that correct?
Love the over
51 and a half?
Love the over here. Listen, you look at the Raiders defense. They got lit up in the preseason, man. Cooper Rush tore them apart. Paul Bovey joined me earlier tonight. He was bringing this up. They couldn't stop anybody in the preseason at all. Last year, the Raiders, I hate to bring, use the same numbers, but I got to emphasize this. Donnie, the Raiders were a 12-win football team last year, right?
Yeah.
Margin was 31 points. Plus 30.
I heard you talking about that. Yep.
Yeah, that's the lowest margin of victory for a 12-win team in the history of the National Football League. They scored 25 points a game last year. They gave up 24 points a game. Yeah, they're a good football team, but people are going a little bit crazy. To me, this game's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. The Raiders, it's an early start for them, but I take a little off of that because of the fact that it's week 1. Last year, the Raiders opened up week 1. They went to New Orleans. They went for 2. They got it. The game was in the mid-30s. Yeah, Blackjack Del Rio got it done. And it's funny because they call him Blackjack Del Rio now. The guy who used to be the most fucking conservative coach ever for the years. Yeah. He goes for it too. It's like Riverboat Ron. Yeah,
exactly.
Ron Rivera.
No more Fred Taylor and Maurice Jones-Drew until they die out there with 60 carries. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Riverboat Ron. Oh, yeah. Riverboat Ron. Yeah, real gambler. Guy goes for it a couple of times. Oh, he's a big gambler. And then he went with it.
4th and 1 with a 6'5", 260-pound running quarterback. Yeah, he's a gambling already.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, I think the Titans get it done in the end of this game, but I like the over. If I'm betting this game, I really like the over. I don't see how either team's going to stop anybody in this game. I really don't.
It's exactly what I like there, Gabe. If you're taking a look at the betting numbers, 65% of the public are betting currently Oakland right now. Line is shifted. Obviously, we saw earlier 1.5, 1.
I like Tennessee a lot now. Then, if you're telling me that, I love them even more. 65% are on the Raiders.
Yeah. That's what we're checking out, but that's one of my spots there. Also, Gabe, what do you think about that? One of the most interesting games that I really like this weekend, obviously probably one of yours as well, Seattle-Green Bay matching up there in Lambeau. What are your thoughts on that game? Do you think about that game or cap that at all out there?
Yeah, I've thought about this one a lot, actually, and I'm kind of thinking outside the box, and sometimes you got to be ballsy. This is one of these games, if we want to be disciplined or you want to be a recreational degenerate gambler, right? So that's the thing. You guys are looking to bet on every game. Have an opinion on every game. I don't know if you can say there's smart money betting on either Seattle or Green Bay in this football game, but I do think it's going to be a track meet as well. Even though Seattle have the pedigree of their defense, we saw what Matt Ryan did to them in the playoffs last year. We're in a modern NFL right now. yeah, they're going to make plays, but they're also going to give up plays. Nobody is stopping Aaron Rodgers. But I got to tell you what, and I am high on the Packers this year, Donnie, but when push comes to shove, I think Seattle's defense can come up with a stop a little bit, just a little bit more. And Green Bay is beat up on Seattle, actually. Let me look at the numbers to confirm this, how many times. But they racked them up pretty good. And I remember 2 years ago, I lost money, and I got asked to leave a bar because I got a little bit upset about it. I wasn't in a sports bar.
That's not a surprise.
Yeah, sports rage. Can you imagine? I was in one of these trendy, like, fucking brewery type places, and they had the football on, but without the sound. And the only reason I got suckered in is because there was like 6 hot blonde chicks at the table and started talking to me. So I was like, all right, I guess I can watch the game there. But I literally had like $4,000 on the game. I wasn't in a good mood. I just broke up with somebody, and it wasn't a good night. So I might have like flipped a fucking chair over or something on the way out in disgust. And the worst part was, and it was so deflating, Donnie, the bouncer, the doorman comes up to me on the way out. He goes, I've been a big fan of yours. I've watched you on TV for the last 10 years. It's very disappointed to see what an asshole you are in real life.
Yeah. Finally got to meet you at your best. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a humbling experience, And I remember that game. I remember the fucking matchup, and I remember Russell Wilson fucking killing me late. But I'm telling you what, I think Seattle are going to knock them off here. I'm opposite of that. I love Green Bay in this spot. The one thing that's the most dangerous thing in football to me is a healthy Green Bay team, and they'll be healthy heading into week 1. You usually see Green Bay without 2 wideouts, people limping around, Aaron Rodgers with a bad calf out there. He's going to be helping this one. I think they pull away. I think they win by 7+ in this game. I'll be opposite you on that one. I think, well, listen, I'll tell you what, there's going to be points put up on the board here. Because, no one's stopping Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to give you that. Yep. All right, so here it is. Exactly. 38-10. All right, so it was 38-10 the last time they played. Seattle, remember that. The year before, this is the game that I got kicked out, actually. It was the 27-17 game. I remember that one. Yeah. That one fell apart. I was man, that one pissed me. I'm still pissed about it. That's the thing with me, Donnie. I get pissed for years about games. I never forget it. We always remember the bad beats. Of course. We don't remember the good I remember the nights. I remember the details. I remember it all, how all those games go down. Yep. But, Green Bay's beat up on him a couple of times. I think payback is a bitch. I think it's coming now. I think Russell Wilson, I can't disagree. I'm big on Jordy Nelson. I have him on a bunch of fantasy teams. I'm a big Devontae Adams fan. Aaron Rodgers is a freaking stud.
Tom's healthy. Yeah, I like it. The only thing a little bit, running with these young running backs and Montgomery, I still can't get over the fact that he's a wide receiver playing running back. We'll see how that adds up, but I like the additions with the tight end. I think he'll be all right. Yeah, yep.
Okay, but, did you watch Seattle in the preseason at all? You see Russell Wilson? The guy looks like Mr. Olympia. Shredded, ripped, fast. He's throwing bullets. Baldwin's open on every damn play. Their offensive line, it's the same guys, but they were young last year, and they got put into situations that, they're better. I'll put it that way. Like Pete Carroll said. No, you're going to find out throughout the football season that we go, Gabe. If we're talking about Russell Wilson, I'm one of his bigger backers. When he got paid $100 million or whatever, he got his new contract, people were laughing at that. He's worth his weight in gold to that Seattle franchise because they don't have anything up front. He makes magic happen every Sunday. Does he have the best running backs? I mean, he had beast mode. Beast mode, obviously very good. Doesn't have the best wide receivers. Jimmy Graham's hurt half the time, and he still makes it happen back there. I love the kid. Oh, he's a winner. Yeah, he's a winner. He's playing with a chip on his shoulder this year because people don't believe in him, right? Like even his own teammates, they wanted to sign Kaepernick. They're not the Kaepernick's better than him, but they don't like him. He's not down for the cause in the locker room, so to speak, is I think what they like to say. Yeah, he's too clean cut. Microsoft, Sierra, he drinks water that cures concussions. I mean, he's out there. You're right, man. He's not going to the strip club with them after. You know what I mean? Like there's a disconnect. And that's why they didn't sign Colin Kaepernick, because guys in the Seahawks locker room were so happy. They're like, oh, yeah, if Russell gets hurt, he can gladly be our quarterback. And I think Carroll thought, fuck, these guys, I think they're almost happy that I signed Kaepernick, type of deal. It's a tough game. It's a toss-up. Two good football teams. But to me, this is another teaser, and I love this teaser. Give me the Seattle Seahawks +10 over 44 all day, Donnie. This one cashes. Seahawks plus 10. I don't think Green Bay are going to pull away and blow them out here. I think this game is going to be a close game. I think we're looking at a, let's say 30-28, 30-27 type of game. I think both quarterbacks will be very successful, and I think it's going to be a close game that comes down to the wire. I really do.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that game. I'm going to be looking forward to that. And obviously, we'll be off the air for a little bit, but obviously we're going to be breaking that game down on Sunday, see what's what in that. I don't think that line's going to move that much either, Gabe. I mean, I think 3 is a perfect number there for that game.
Yes, and they're basically telling us it's a pick 'em on a neutral field. All right, Donnie. So before we let you go, we're going to have time to hit the Saints game. That's on Monday. I saw somebody in the chat talking about the Saints. I actually like the Saints here too a bit. But I'd like them better. I'd like them better if Willie Snead wasn't injured yet. AP even said, I want to make these motherfuckers pay in this football game. I think the number's a little short in the Bronco game. I've always taken the Chargers in this matchup over the years, but I'm always getting 7 points or so. It's only 3.5. I think there's a little bit of an overreaction to people. I think Simeon's a little bit better than people realize. And I was just in Vegas this past weekend. A lot of buzz about the Rams in this game because Scott Tolzien is playing, actually. I don't love the fact that it's 3.5 as opposed to 3, but I do think the Rams can get it done there. It's going to be an interesting weekend. Last game, Donnie, we won't hit them all, but last game, sure. Me and Donnie are going to be on Sunday morning right here on SBR YouTube page from 12 until 1, and then we're going to join you at the crack of the first halftime. So as soon as the first game goes to halftime, me and Donnie are going to hop on here, Google Hangouts. Yep. And we're going to give you the lines for all the halftimes and give you our opinions for the halftimes until the last game is off the board. And then you're on your own after that. All right. Then you're on your own. But how about the Cincinnati Bengals and the Ravens here with Joe Flacco? Joe Flacco being as rusty as he is right now. Yeah. Lack of skill position players with the Baltimore Ravens. What do you make of this game?
The one thing that actually scares me a little bit in this game is the fact that the line is only -3. I'm not a buyer on Baltimore. I'm actually a buyer on Cincinnati this year. I like Mixon at running back. I think they have a good mix. Obviously, good wide receiving core, good tight end. I think they'll be solid on defense, and they're home. This line doesn't make sense to me. I'm thinking it's a little bit short. I'm thinking it should be maybe 4.5 in the favor of Cincinnati. What are you going to get from Flacco? I mean, timing's not going to be there. I don't think Baltimore is that talented overall. And they're going to be on the road in this situation. So if you're looking just at the game itself, I really like Cincinnati, but I don't actually like the line, if that makes sense, Gabe.
Yeah, it's always that, they're trying to bait you. You know what it is, though? Bengals coming off a bad year. People remember what they saw last, and they remember last year the Bengals sort of struggled. I always talk about perception and reality when it comes to sports betting, all right? And when it comes to stats as well, perception and reality. And here's one that people probably don't realize. Cincinnati Bengals have beaten the Baltimore Ravens 5 out of the last 6 times that they played, which is surprising. Last year, 27-10, they lost 19-14. The year before that, they swept them 24-16. They beat them. Cincinnati beat them 28-24. Cincinnati beat them 27-24. Cincinnati beat them 23-16. Cincinnati beat them 34-17. Cincinnati is one of these matchups. They have beat up. It's a rarity that Harbaugh gets his ass handed to by anybody, but Marvin Lewis does well against the Baltimore Ravens. He does. 5-1 straight up last 6.
Yeah, even looking at the numbers for the game itself there, Gabe, 67% of the spread wagers are going with Cincinnati. That line opened up 3 and is still sitting at 3. That's a problem for me. I want to see where it shifts maybe during the week, see that final, report of who's going to be out there. But again, Joe Flacco, I mean, are we hiding something here? Is he completely healthy? Because going into week 1 on the road against a team that, hey, they're no stranger to cheap shots over there on Cincinnati by any stretch. That number seems a little bit short to me.
Yeah, it's too bad Vontaze is suspended. Speaking of cheap shots.
Right, yeah.
I asked Dave Malinsky today. I had him on Game Time Decisions on the Fantasy Sports Center. I asked Malinsky, I said, so what do you make of Flacco being rusty? And I liked his answer. He goes, well, Gabe, even if he wasn't rusty, would it matter? And he brought up the lack of weapons and sort of Baltimore, this team sort of running out of gas, a little bit of steam right now. But we encourage people to check out Donnie right side and his plays of the day. So before we let you go, Donnie, college football, have you taken a look at the board yet?
We took a little bit today. Actually, I was on a show with Pistol Pete over at SBR. We did review a couple NCAA football games coming up this week. The ones that really caught my eye, just some opening line type of wagers. Let me just see if I can bring them up. Iowa State. Thought that line was a little bit short, leaning towards Iowa State there. The one game I'm actually really interested in, Gabe, it's a smaller game, off the card type of situation. Middle Tennessee State heading to Syracuse. I think there's a little overreaction with Syracuse beating up on a lower FCS team and Middle Tennessee State really struggling with Vanderbilt, an SEC team. I look for Middle Tennessee State. If you can get that 9.5 somewhere in that range, I think they're going to hang inside that number.
Interesting. I like where you're going with that. I do. I called San Diego State last night at +5. It's already down to 4 right now over at uwager.eu.
Yep.
I think the Aztecs can win this game outright. New Mexico State, man, those guys ran up and down the field at will. We're talking about a fucking, I was going to call them a whack team, but they're a Sunbelt team now, barely.
And they couldn't protect their quarterback at all against a New Mexico State team that can't defend anybody or get after the quarterback. They got after Arizona State.
Yeah, they're in trouble. I think the Aztecs are going to beat them outright. I think they're going to beat them outright in this football game. And a game that there's no number. Obviously, USC and Stanford's an interesting football game, and you got to wonder if Western Michigan was able to go up and down the field against USC, if Stanford's going to be able to do the same thing with their punishing.
And an extra week of preparation time for Stanford there, Yeah,
you're right. They had a bye week coming off the trip to Australia. But a game that there's no lineup here right now. And I never thought I'd be saying I can't wait to see a line for a Kent State or a Howard game.
You're right about that, man.
But you got Howard, all right, coming off the 43-point, upset victory against UNLV. Technically the biggest point spread upset in the history of any football anywhere. You got Kent State, who really are one of the worst programs in D1. I think they're ranked like 120.
They embarrassed themselves last week. I know it was against Clemson, a top 5 program. You weren't supposed to hang around, but they were embarrassing last week. Give up.
56-3. Yeah, they got fucking tattooed.
They just gave up. Yep.
So you've got Howard coming off the win against UNLV on the road against Kent State. I think the public are going to be, man, Howard. Thing is, the odds makers don't make game lines for Howard games. Did for the UNLV game. I bet you they will on Friday night or Saturday morning for this one.
Oh, they will.
Against Kent State. But it's going to be interesting to see what they set the number here against Kent State, because I think Howard's in a massive letdown situation here.
I mean, if you look at Kent State in that football game, Jeff and I on the right side of campus today were trying to peg this game, looking at it and saying, can you open Kent? Like typically, let's just say Kent, played a little bit better game last week. They put up 17 points or 21, hung around that point spread, whatever it was. And you opened up, you wouldn't be surprised if Kent was a home favorite by 10 points. If they open up Kent -10 in this game, I'm not even sure Kent can cross, their own 35-yard line a couple times in this game, the way it looks like. So I'm very interested to see what they open that up. And again, you're probably not going to see a line on that one, Gabe. What, maybe Thursday, Friday night until that opens up?
Yeah, that would be one of the late comers, man. And I tell you, like before the season started, it would be on a Kent State Howard game would have been like $62. All right, now because of last week in Howard, and now the word is out that the quarterback of Howard is Cam Newton's little brother, Kalen. The bandwagon is going to be full this week, and everyone's going, "Oh, Kent State, they just got tattooed to Clemson." It's going to be an interesting. It'll be intriguing to see. But we got some big time college football this week. Week 1 NFL. So as we stated, don't forget Donnie Rightside and yours truly, me, Gabriel Morency. Every Sunday morning at 12 o'clock sharp, we're going to take you right up to the 1 o'clock kickoff. I'm going to be placing bets while we're doing the show. I hope that's approved here at SPR.
It is approved. And by the way, both the Eagles and the Buffalo Bills playing at 1 o'clock, we could come in here and maybe not even have a studio or anything or any computer screens left. I might be so frustrated already.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Our first halftime show, Donnie, could be you and I going, man, what
cursing
the
at each other. I don't even want to do the show anymore. The Eagles are down 14 points at the half. I'm out of here. Good luck.
Yeah, don't blame me if Darby sucks. Say, hey, what did you say here? I'm going to blame you for Jordan Matthews.
Exactly.
So yeah,
dropping balls all game. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we're going to be on from 12 to 1, and then like I said, so halftime comes on. Boom. First halftime, we're going to be breaking down. We're going to keep you posted. We're going to give you all the lines for all the halftimes, the totals. Hell, sportsbooks even have props for second halves now, player props and stuff like that. Yeah, and then once the last game is off the board, we'll shut it down. But Donnie, it's always a pleasure, my man. Can't wait till Sunday morning.
We'll have a great time, man. Thanks for having me on the show. Good luck in this time slot. Hold it down and keep. Hey, Gabe, come on. 3.5, 4 hours tonight, man. Don't be cheap over there. At least 3.5, 4 hours. I want out of you tonight.
I get paid for 2. All right, but we get paid for 2. I gave him 3 last night. And they're like, hey, our guy had to stay kind of late last night. So I'm like,
yeah.
I said, all right, I'll end it around. I think poor Ed, actually, he's probably watching right now going, oh, please, 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 please. But
don't egg him on, Donnie. Don't egg him on. Yeah, right. Yep.
Of course, I'll see you, Donnie.
All right, buddy. Take care.
There's Donnie Rightside with his great stuff talking football with Donnie Rightside. Yeah, like I said last night, we wanted to give people a little bang for the buck. I have a hard time shutting it down after 2 hours. And, of course, we went on our covers.com late night rant last night. Or late night. I know a lot of people enjoyed that. Saw people in the chat last night. They're like, does this guy get this angry every night? I'm like, well, sometimes, maybe, I see we've got the lovely Cynthia in the house. Cynthia SBR. Steve Wilson. What up, Steve? Steve's a longtime rageaholic, longtime viewer of ours and listener of ours. You know what? Those mainstream pregame shows suck. Like, really. Like, does anybody sit around going, oh, you know what? I got to see who Boomer Esiason likes this Sunday. These guys don't give a shit. Those guys are making like $300,000 a year, $400,000 a year. Do you think they care? Do you think they care whether their picks are good or not? If my picks suck, I'm going to get kicked out of this condo. That's the difference. The mainstream pregame show fucking suck. We're gonna have you covered here. And like I said, I'm a big prop guy. We talked about this at the IFBC at the first ever International Football Betting Conference powered by SBR. We talked about props and how you can take advantage of prop betting. We talked about it again last night with the Justin Tucker. And for the record, somebody sent me a tweet today, actually. I got to get one of these fucking gaming chairs, man. I got to get one of these gaming chairs. I can't, I'm sitting on this bamboo piece of fucking steel here, man. I might as well be doing the show on a park bench. Somebody told me, they're like, you got to get one of those gaming chairs. I didn't even know what a gaming chair was. I didn't even know what a gaming chair was. Then I see these nice gaming chairs. They're like $900. Yeah, man, they're like $900, those fucking chairs. I need a game, seriously. If I'm going to be on all the time, like, I need to be kicked back in like one of those leather gaming chairs with fucking vibrations and headphones. Like rubbing, backward, fucking, to keep the stress levels down. Keep the stress levels down. Yeah, who the fuck do you want to watch on Sunday morning? You want to watch James Brown? James Brown's a nice guy. I've had him on my show. He's a nice guy, James Brown, but James Brown ain't telling you whether the Rams are going to cover the point spread or not. James Brown doesn't care. James Brown is worried about James Brown, like Ray Bulger's worried about Ray Bulger. Boomer Esiason's worried about Boomer, all right? We got our own problems. Boomer. Well, you think these guys understand on the set of the CBS fucking pregame show? Hey, listen, if I don't win today, I'm going to have a guy named fucking Frankie fucking want his $3,400 that I don't have. Can you help me out, Boomer Esiason? You think he's going to help you out? No. Me and Donnie will help you out. Babana will help you out. I used to get high and play Halo all night. Yeah, and I'm getting pissed off about this Dolphin game, though. The guy that was going to be the guy that was going to match up against Mike Evans. The guy was going to match up against Mike Evans. Alteron Werner. The guy's 5'10". Mike Evans is 6'5". I don't trust Jay Cutler. Come on, play this game, guys. You know they're not going to play this game. I would ask them to play this game. Play this game. I like the Bucs if they play this game. I like the Bucs if they play this game. So we'll take a quick break right now. We just, you know what? We don't even know when we start. It's time's just, you know, whatever. When's kickoff anyways, man? For about an hour and a half now. I normally like to space out some breaks. You know, I'm a mainstream guy after all, you know. I'm used to like fucking TV breaks after 9 minutes and 11 minutes. But all kidding aside, I could go for like 6 hours straight and stuff. But it's more for you. It's sort of like a mini intermission. But, you know, we'll just take a 2-3 minute break. It's, let's be real. It's the smoke 'em if you got 'em time of the night right now. It's a smoke 'em if you got 'em time of the night. It's the, oh, shit, I got to let the dog out in the backyard here for a second. You know, take a quick break. We'll be back in about 120, I don't know, 3 minutes type of deal. And we'll take some questions about some games in the chat. I've got a couple of things I want to get to. Actually, there's a ton of stuff going on here. I want to get back to this Ezekiel Elliott stuff a little bit and the confusion. Total chaos, man, coming into week 1 of the National Football League. It really is. Like I said, you know, I believe it was Paul Bovey said this earlier tonight to me on a TV show. Said, you know, it's like week 5 of the preseason. It really is. It's like week 5 of the preseason. I've never been less confident coming into a week 1 of an NFL season ever. And I got to be honest with you. I am historically, I'm known for killing it early in the NFL. And I'm part of 4 super contest teams. So I better start coming up with some games I like, like real fast. Real fast. Oklahoma State laying 28 to South Alabama. Man, the Cowboys look good. I did a prediction last week in my college Final Four, and some people were like, you're crazy, man. I said the ACC won't even make it to the playoffs this year. That was my bold prediction. I said Florida State will lose to Alabama, and you'll see. They're going to lose a bunch of other games. They'll get out of the way. Clemson won't be as good, and it'll open up the door for the Big 12, and boom. DeAndre Francois is out. We're going to find out more about Clemson. You know, I was trying to talk myself into taking the Auburn Tigers plus the points. Dave Malinsky, who writes a daily column here at SBR, you know, sort of said, I don't know. You know, is Jared Stidham, is Auburn ready for this moment yet? Clemson's defense is still damn good. Tomorrow night, Ian Cameron, a.k.a. Babano, will join us right here. And he'll join us on Friday with Cam Stewart. So, yeah, we'll take a quick break right now. See some NFL odds. And we'll come back on the other side and keep on motherfucking raging. Spread the word. Sports Rage. Now on SBR, weeknights at 10 o'clock. Me and Donnie, Sunday morning, 12 to 1. We got you covered as far as halftime is concerned as well. And we're gonna nail some winners this week. I'm fired up, man. Fired up. College is cool. Let's do it. Let's bring it on. NFL football. When we come back, we'll take a deeper look into this New England Patriot Kansas City Chief football game. I blame Zach for this. I thought they're going to put some odds up here. Put some odds up. All right, we're working out the kinks here. It's a soft launch here, guys. All right. I feel like Kramer on the episode on the Merv Griffin, and we're back. and we're back. That's the best episode. People debate what the best Seinfeld episode is ever, but that's the best episode when they get the Merv Griffin set. As a talk show host, that's where I feel like the way that Kramer looks at. I've even got the chips here. Like when Kramer, like they're talking, he's like, all right, we're taking a break. He eats a chip. There's a video. I don't want to eat a chip because you can't have just one. There's a video out there, and I'm not a big Stephen A. Smith fan, but there's a video of Stephen A. Smith. And they're at the NBA draft, and it's right out of the Kramer shit, right? It's ESPN at the NBA draft. And they're on the big table and stuff. They're on the big table. And they go to a break, all right? And no one talks to anybody. That's the thing on TV, right? Everyone's burnt out, so everyone at the break's just sitting there. And Stephen A. Smith pulls out a bag of Cheetos, and he doesn't say a word. He just sits there, he eats the Cheetos, and then he pounds back like a Diet Coke. And they're like, and we're back. And then he's right back. And I'm going to tell you, he goes right back into his thing. I'm the same way. People don't realize. Like when I end the show here too, I do the same thing. I'm like a robot. I just turn off. I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, that was a grind. I'm like, this day was a grind. It's like Kramer said, I'm not sure if I was ready to have my own talk show set. I'm not sure I was ready to have my own talk show set. Great episode. Great episode. All right, so thanks to Donnie Rightside for joining us on the program. Tomorrow night, Ian Cameron. Like I said, we're going to get all your SBR favorites on the show. Teddy Covers. We got to get Loshak, Pistol Pete back in the mix as well. I love that mustache. We got to get Pistol Pete back in the mix. I know a lot of you guys. I saw a poll. I'm on a fantasy sports network, even though I host more of a gambling show. I do some DFS picks, but I'm on the network to be the gambling guy more than anything. But I saw a poll. 71% of fantasy football players gamble, actually. And I know a lot of you play fantasy football in your own leagues as well. Our boy Kyle Hamburg from Atlanta. We met him in Costa Rica. He's big into the fantasy football. But there's money to be made, guys. There really is. If you know, all you guys, I see a lot of people, you guys know football. I know you know football. You know, you're in an SBR chat here right now. This is, home for gamblers. So, you know football. But, you can say, well, why is a team going to beat a team? I like the Lions. I like the Chargers. I like the Broncos. But fantasy football knowledge will help you break down each position by position battle, and it'll help you actually win money betting the games. And I've said this before, like fantasy football will make you a smarter, better. I'm telling you right now, guys, even if you hate fantasy football, and it's funny because I was just in Vegas. I was talking to Jay Cornegay, the odds maker over at the Westgate. Got fantasy football props. And he goes, yeah, but no one really plays them. He goes, this is Vegas. We care about the real thing. Yet it's all the real thing. It's all motherfucking money, right? So when I talked about this at the IFBC, the fantasy football analysis is so much more detailed than the betting analysis. You can only go so far with the betting analysis. Well, this team is 12-4 against the spread. This team, they're 5-1 ATS the last time they played, the 6 times they played each other. Gambling analysis can only take you so far. Gambling analysis doesn't win football games. The players win football games. So, the fantasy guys, even though a lot of them are big-ass fucking nerds that would be scared to put more than $5 on a football game, they know a fucking hell of a lot as far as the matchups and which DBs suck, all right? You can, really correlate fantasy football success into betting success and vice versa as well. And I wasn't a big fantasy guy before. I used to play a bit, but, it wasn't a passion of mine or anything like that. I was always like, man, I'm betting $2,000 a game here. I can't worry about how many fucking touchdowns the guy throws. Like, really? I got bigger issues than that. But now with prop betting and, the modernization of gambling and stuff, the prop betting and the fantasy knowledge really, really helps you. And it was about 15 years ago, man. I remember I used to get all the football people. I used to be a big shot on the radio, and they used to always send me all the magazines for free. And it was all the same bullshit. I'm reading these preview magazines, and I'm like, I fucking know who's on the Atlanta Falcons. I already know this, And then, they start sending me the fantasy football stuff. And I was like, I'm not really a huge fantasy guy, but I love football, so let me read this. I already read the season preview. Let me read this. And I'm like, holy fuck, these guys got a lot of information, man. I was like, yeah, I never really realized that this guy, he's not as good on the road. Think baseball. Baseball is such a statistical sport. And I'm sure many of you that bet baseball, you can tell me off the top of your head, man, at home, he's terrible, but on the road, he's got the home road split, so to speak. This correlates into football as well, right? Like people, I'm not the biggest analytical nerd, for like a raging psychotic fucking madman that I am. But I really do respect the analytics. And I think it's foolish to ignore them. And you look at the home road splits. Ben Roethlisberger is a good example of this. Ben Roethlisberger is a great example of that. Ben Roethlisberger struggles on the road. He just does. You look at his home road splits, he struggles. That's one of the reasons why. I think the Steelers are going to beat up on the Browns, but I don't think it's going to be an ultra high scoring game or anything like that. But, I feel like the NFL season's coming. It's like, it's almost like I'm back in fucking high school or something like that. And I didn't like high school. That's why I quit. But I feel like I'm back in school and I know there's an exam coming and I'm like screwed. That's the way I feel right now. I'm like, oh man. I got no choice. Like the Westgate releases the super contest lines tomorrow. This is real. We're playing for like over $1 million. This is the big leagues, baby. It's the big leagues. Check out the SBR survivor pool as well. Everyone's got survivor pools going. I want to get into them all. I want to get into all of them. There's a cool one over at fantasyfactor.com. It's free to enter. The winner only gets $1,000, but it's completely free to enter. And there's not going to be like 50,000 people or anything. So if you want that one's free. That's over at fantasyfactor.com. Our boy Zach Jones in the chat right now can give you all the information about the SBR Survivor League. Over the people over at UWager have a $50,000 Survivor pool going on. I'm going to get involved into this one as well. What's up, Brian Jensen? Yeah, exactly. Like the fantasy. No, so like if you read the fantasy stuff and you're like, well, this guy's the number one wide receiver, ranked or whatever, you can see the weaknesses. And you're like, wow, this passing attack really is going to fuck these guys up. Right? Like it's just knowledge. It can't hurt to know more information. We'll put it that way. And I know at SBR, it's a big thing. Do your research before you bet. It can't hurt to have more knowledge. The most knowledge you have, going into a football game will really, really help. So let's do a line check right now. New England Patriots are 9-point favorites in this football game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And Donnie Rightside raises some good points. Listen, has anybody gotten rich saying, I'm going to bet against the Patriots? The Patriots always have a chip on their shoulder. Thank God. At least this year, Goodell didn't piss them off. Yeah, they don't need the motivation, the extra motivation all the time. But the Patriots, 9-point favorites right now. Total is 48.5. Tough. It's a tough game, man. We're all going to want to get a piece of it. Donnie said, I'm not going to bet it just because it's the first game. I guess Donnie's a bigger man than I am. I might not go crazy and bet massive on it, but how the hell am I not going to bet it? But once again, this is where props come into play. We'll be taking a look at some props here. I do believe that the New England Patriot offense is not going to be as potent, though. I think people, you know, they have the expectation that Tom Brady is Superman and that, you know, oh, yeah, they're just going to score 38, and that's what they do. Not always. You know, not always. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to surprise people a little bit in this game. Like, I got to be honest with you. I'm leaning with the Chiefs. I'm leaning with the Chiefs. I'm in the minority here. I get it. I don't care. I'm leaning with the Kansas City Chiefs in the +9 territory range here. Total is 48.5, and I'm not going to lie to you. I think I'm going to play the Kansas City Chiefs on a teaser. I'll take the Kansas City Chiefs +16. I'll take my chances that they can hang around. The thing with the Kansas City Chiefs is you look at their offense, and you're like, where's the skill position? Where this, you know, you look at the skill position players. I talked about this earlier with Donnie, perception and reality. All right, let's play a little perception and reality game here right now. So let's start off here. Who's got a better offense? Who's got a better offense? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Kansas City Chiefs? I'm assuming, let me look in the chat here. I'm assuming that many of you are going to say, well, I'm going to say all the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who's got a better offense? The Tennessee Titans or the Kansas City Chiefs? You know, the Kansas City Chiefs scored 23.8 points per game last year. They're ranked 13th in the National Football League, tied with the Tennessee Titans at 23.8. All right, the Kansas City Chiefs scored more points per game last year than the Carolina Panthers, Philadelphia Eagles, Seattle Seahawks, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Miami Dolphins, Baltimore Ravens, Denver Broncos, Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings, Cincinnati Bengals, Jacksonville Jaguars, San Francisco, New York Giants, Houston, Chicago, Jets, Cleveland, and the Rams. You know, perception. Perception. Oh, the Chiefs' offense sucks. Perception. The Chiefs can't move the ball. Alex Smith can't put points on the board. Reality. Well, ranked 13th in the National Football League, 23.8 points per game. You know, perception and reality don't always meet. You know, for the record, the New England Patriots put up 28.7 points per game last year. I'm always fascinated when I look at the numbers, actually, because, like I said, you know, football is life, right? Like the Rock says in Ballers, you know, football is reality, and it really is true. You know, there's a lot of correlations between life and football, and I've said it before. It's late in the third quarter, and I'm down 21 points, all right? But there's a lot of correlations. And in life, people have fake perceptions of people, fake perceptions of things, and they believe their perceptions to be real because the masses believe it to be real. You know, that's how politics works. You know, brainwash the masses. But, you know, the reality and perception are often different things. And that's where the numbers come into play here a little bit. But like I said, nobody's getting rich betting against the New England Patriots. You know, you just have to wonder. You know, they have a new rushing attack here with Gillislee. They've got so many new bodies out there. And I was going to say the thing about Kansas City's offense as well. You know, Tyreek Hill, I don't think he's a legitimate number one wide receiver. They do, obviously. I don't. Conley's not worrying anybody. Kelsey's an elite tight end, but Donnie brought it up. The Patriots do a great job of always taking away what your greatest strength is. But the thing with the Kansas City Chiefs is they've got playmakers. So, like, Tyreek Hill might, you know, be a pedestrian wide receiver, but the motherfucker can also bust one at any time. You know, we're going to see about Kareem Hunt as well. Can Kareem Hunt bust off a big play for them? They're going to need a couple of big plays, and that's the problem with Kansas City all the time. If they fall behind, they can never come back. You know, they have a problem coming back when they fall behind. I'm telling you guys, be careful running to the window and betting 9 points on this football game. This game worries me I'm going to attack this game from a prop perspective more than anything. Let's check in on the weather right now. Boston weather. See if there's interesting. Scattered showers. 14-mile-hour wind. Scattered showers Thursday night. And in fact, right now there's a flash flood watch going on in the area. Hourly rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour. Strong storms, which may lead to localized flash flooding. So yeah, I guess it's Hurricane Irma or remnants of Hurricane Harvey or whatever the hell it is, but the weather patterns are pretty whacked. We talked about it playing havoc already with the NFL schedule and the Tampa Bay and the Miami Dolphin game. And this really pisses me off. I like the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins-Buck game. I like the Bucks to win this football game in Miami. I thought the Bucks could win this game, but now I'm kind of turned off. We don't even know if they're going to be playing the game, but scattered showers for the record on Thursday night. Tough football game. The Arizona Cardinals -1.5 right now. One thing I've noticed this week in the NFL, there really hasn't been a lot of line movement at all. There really hasn't been a lot of line movement. The Arizona Cardinals have been -1.5 the whole time against the line. The total is 48. Atlanta Falcons, they've been 7-point favorites pretty much all summer. Here they are right now. They're laying 7 right now. All the lines I'm using right now from UWager. Total is 49.5. Here's a game. I keep on bringing it up, the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to surprise people this year. And, I don't know why I terrorize myself with this all the time, but I think the Bengals are being a little bit underestimated. They're not a bad football team. They just don't win in the playoffs. Last year, the wheels fell off for them. And the thing is with the Bengals last year, the Bengals did not have a good year last year, and they were still 7-8-1. Marvin Lewis is a good coach. Andy Dalton's a good quarterback. I do like Joe Mixon. Talk about breakaway speed. Mixon can take it to the house anytime he touches the football. Jeremy Hill has been named the starting running back for the Cincinnati Bengals, but I have a lot of respect for Harbaugh. I just don't think very highly of this Baltimore team. When we went over some of the numbers earlier, the Cincinnati Bengals have owned these guys. We went over the numbers. We told you. They've beaten them. They've beaten them like 5 straight times, 5 out of the last 6 times. The Cincinnati Bengals match up well for some reason against the Baltimore Ravens. Here's a game that no one's talking about, the Houston Texans. Let us look up. I want to see something here. I want to see the past history between these two teams. I talked about playing Houston in a survivor pool. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before. But Bill O'Brien is actually a very good coach. O'Brien is a good coach in a favorite role against bad football teams. Like the Houston Texans have been 9-7 3 consecutive years in a row. What's the MO with the Texans? They usually don't win big games, which means they take care of business against the teams that they should. So let's see here against Jacksonville. Taking care of business. Close games last year. 21-20, 24-21. Year before that, 30-6 and 31-20, and then 23-17, 27-13. See, Houston have owned these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they've swept them 3 consecutive years. They've beaten them 6 consecutive times. Yet, 21-20 last year only, 24-21, 30-6, 31-20, 23-17. It's not a lot of blowouts, and Houston really aren't conditioned to blow anybody out. You're going to have the Hurricane Harvey stuff and the tributes and all that stuff. You know they're going to be fired up in Houston for this game. I'm very high on the Houston Texans coming into this season. The Texans are stacked at every position. To me, the Texans might be the most underrated team in the NFL, actually. The question is Tom Savage. Now, I'm going to give Tom Savage the benefit of the doubt. I like Deshaun Watson, but Tom Savage was better. Tom Savage gives him a better chance of winning right now, and the window is there now. Like, the Houston Texans have enough talent, I think, to push the New England Patriots, actually. But, you know, really, is Tom Savage beating Tom Brady in a playoff game? No. Right? So the Texans are sort of, you know, you're right back to where you started almost, as good as you are. That game sort of intrigues me, though, at 5.5. I like Adam Kennedy saying the Jags are going to find a way to lose. I see we got our boy Jazz. What's going on, Jazz? Jay Peach in the house. Yeah, I agree with you, Jay Peach. I'm not a big Bill O'Brien fan either. And I've said this for years about O'Brien. He's too fucking conservative. You know, he goes into these games against the Patriots of the world and stuff, and he coaches not to get blown out. That's like what Andy Reid does against the Pats, too. And it works for Reid because he doesn't get blown out, but I agree. I'm not a big Bill O'Brien fan. You know, the whole stuff about Bill O'Brien being a quarterback guru, and Bill O'Brien's been 9-7 every year, and he keeps on choosing all these quarterbacks that he has all the time. And then he spits them out, and then he never really takes the blame for anything. I'm not a big Bill O'Brien fan. I think his play calling blows. I think that he's way too conservative. I think he plays not to lose too often. I think the Houston Texans have elite talent in the National Football League that could be fucking unleashed. I think the Texans, if they had an innovative offensive guy that was aggressive, would be a really scary team to play. You know, but I will give O'Brien the credit. He is a good quarterback coach. You know, the fact that he got Matt McGloin into the NFL says it all right there. But I'm with you, Jay Peach. I'm not sitting here telling you I think that he's a great coach. You know what, Peach? He's like a lot of these guys in the NFL. Like, look, is Mike McCarthy a good coach? Let me ask you. I'll ask you guys in the chat now. Is Mike McCarthy a good coach? Mike McCarthy, whatever, man. The guy knows more about football than any of us do. Right? The guy is an offensive, guru. I mean, he can call plays and he does things, but Mike McCarthy's a shitty coach. The guy does stupid fucking things in football games, and he has his entire career. If anything, the Green Bay Packers should have won more. They never should have lost to Seattle in the playoffs a couple of years ago. McCarthy gets a free pass for a lot of the stupid shit that he does. But there's a lot of coaches like this in the NFL. I used to think that Mike Tomlin was a great coach. And the thing is, Mike Tomlin is a very good coach, in the sense that the players love him. He's young enough. He gets it. He played in the league. You know, he's a great motivator. He's a player's coach. But Mike Tomlin's a fucking dumbass during football games. You know, but I've said this all the time. I remember years ago when Urban Meyer played Saban in the Sugar Bowl there in the playoff game, and Cardell Jones played. I remember at the end of the game, in the last 5 minutes, both Saban and Meyer were doing ridiculously stupid things, right? Like, coaches do stupid things in games, and it sort of gets forgotten about. You know, Bill Belichick didn't call timeout against the Seattle Seahawks. People were freaking out. They're like, why isn't he calling timeout if he's not going to have any time left? And then Russell Wilson throws the interception, and, Bill Belichick's a genius. Didn't need the timeout. Yeah, he didn't need the timeout. I agree with you, Jazz. That's the thing. That's the thing. You watch college, man. Our boy T-Bone in the house. What's going on, T-Bone? Yeah, it's disappointing in Vegas. I couldn't get into my groove. I got thrown off. I wasn't there long enough. I've been doing a lot of these little quick trips and shit, but it catches up to you. And, like, it's hard to go into Vegas for 40 hours and be on top of your game. And You got to come down to Costa Rica, T-Bone. Yeah, what's up, Zach? Are we doing this thing for March Madness, before March Madness? A basketball convention? No, you give me a reason to come back to Costa Rica, I'm coming back down. I love it up there in Red Rock. I used to live in Vegas. T-Bone lived in Vegas too, J. Peach. I lived on the Strip on Sahara Street, but that's where I always told people if I lived like I got my place in Vegas, I'd get it up there. That'd be my home place up there. Nice and far away from the dregs on the Strip. Nice and quiet up there in the mountains, but close enough to the Strip if I wanted to get down there. Yeah, 3 days. 3 days is good, Vegas. 4 days, you know. But my day and a half, it was too quick. You can't get into a rhythm and shit. Kyle, yeah, that's the thing with Costa Rica. That's the thing with Costa Rica. You go there and you like it. It's like, oh, fuck, I can see myself living here. That's why nobody leaves. So, yeah, me and T-Bone are part of man, the Red Sox are still playing this game with the Blue Jays, man. This motherfucking thing's going on all night. It's inevitable the Blue Jays will lose, all right? If you guys are betting this in-game, the Blue Jays will lose. Like I said, the Blue Jays haven't won back-to-back road games in over a month. In-game number right now, the Boston Red Sox have a runner on first base, bottom of the 15th inning, 1 out. In-game number, Boston Red Sox minus 225. Minus 225. Quick baseball check. Cardinals up 7-4. Rockies up 9-6 right now. Yankees up 6-5 on Baltimore. Angels. I gave the Angels on TV today as one of my plays of the day. Angels up 4-2. Verlander debut tonight. 1-1 in the 5th inning. Verlander's been dealing. D-backs and Dodgers. We've all been waiting for that Dodgers slide, but, man, I was in football mode. I didn't even realize what a fucking slide it was for the Dodgers. Brutal slide. Yeah, so looking at the board, what about the Atlanta Falcons, guys? Are we leaving the Falcons off the board here? I have a feeling the Falcons win this game against the Bears, but it's closer than people are going to think. It's week 1, man. Weird shit happens. So I'm not ready to lay 7 on the road with the Falcons. I do like the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm leaning with the Titans, but I kind of like the over more in that football game. I don't understand why the Philadelphia Eagles are favored here. You've got all these new wide receivers. I'm high on Carson Wentz from a fantasy standpoint in this football game, but really be favored. You know, we talked about the dominance of the Washington Redskins against the Eagles. They won 5 in a row. They're 6-0 against the spread. No, the Indians win 9-4. Final score with the Indians. So what? That's 13 in a row for the Tribe, and they're 11-2 on the run line right now. In that time frame of their wins. Fucking football, college football. I was doing so good with baseball, and college football came along, and I just got into football mode. And now I'm out of the baseball groove. All these streaks. I would have been riding these streaks as well. I would have been riding these streaks. The Rams. I think the Rams win, but I'm not in a hurry to lay to 3.5. I told you guys I think Seattle are going to upset Green Bay. My big upset special of the week, the San Francisco 49ers plus 5.5 against Carolina. And it's too bad that this Tampa game, like, it's off the board right now. Who the hell knows what's going to happen with that football game? Yeah, it's the first game of the year. You know, like, yeah, it's nothing's too obvious, right? I think the Falcons are going to win. I think the Falcons are a decent survivor pick. The thing with the Falcons, I was thinking about this earlier today, actually, and it's funny because, you guys have seen the study before. You've heard the studies that men think about sex every 7 seconds. I've heard different amounts, but I actually did a bit on this recently. And they said, it's every 7 seconds that sex subconsciously is on a man's mind. And I said, not at this time of the year, fuck. Like, I'm walking down the street, I'm dreaming about football. I'm walking down the street, I'm thinking about football. It's just football, football, football. And I was thinking about this game today. And I'm like, all right, it's week 1. Everybody's kind of up in the air. And we'll add up the Patriots, Falcons, Steelers parlay. I can't argue with it. I told you, I think the Chiefs could put a scare into them. I'll tell you what it pays. Patriots, Steelers, Falcons parlay. 3-team parlay is plus 105 on the money line. All right, so this is what I always like to do here, John Marino. So, all right, you want to play it safe. You're looking okay. I'm going to play some money line parlays here. So we just added that up. That's plus 105. So let's see what a 3-team teaser is going to pay. I always do the math, guys. If you're going to play a 2-team money line parlay, always look and say, okay, am I better off playing a minus 120 or minus 130 on the teaser and getting the Patriots down to 2 or 3, or am I better going with the money line depending on the value with the the number here? So let's try the 7-point. Let's try the 7-point teaser here on the 3-team 7-point teaser. New England Patriots, Atlanta Falcons, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So now we got you get the New England Patriots at -2. Atlanta Falcons as a pick 'em. Pittsburgh Steelers -2. Yeah, it pays. Yeah, you see, you're better off here. 3-team teasers, 3-team 7-point teaser plus 240. Or excuse me, plus 140. 100 to return 240. So yeah, plus 140. So you see what I'm saying? So you, instead of now, okay, so you're giving up the Patriots out of pick 'em and the Steelers out of pick 'em. So now you've got to lay the 2 points. You've got to lay the 2 points with the Patriots and the 2 points with the Steelers. But the book is giving you 35 more extra cents for that. And if you think the game's going to be a 1-point game and it's going to be that much of a sweat job, then it shouldn't be in your motherfucking money line parlay in the first place. Right? So this is where I say, do the math, add it up. Think about it first. Do the math. All right? All right, you want to play a 3-team money line parlay? That would have only paid plus 105. Boom. 3-point, 7-point teaser, pay a plus 140. You got to lay 2 points with 2 of the games. So now you got yourself an option here. Yeah, but I got to tell you, man, I fucking hate these public fucking big parlays and all that and these this stuff. Well, yes. Yeah, but I would suggest here, John, don't do the 6-point teaser. Don't do the 6-point teaser. Do the 7-point teaser. You don't want to get it down to 3. You don't want to get it down to 3. Because 3 is a key number and it lands on 3, like Buddy was saying there. You're going to get a push. You're going to get a push. Now, I'm kicking the tires on these games like everybody else is here, guys. But where I sit right now, I'm telling you, the games that I'm looking to bet so far, the San Francisco 49ers plus 5.5, the Seattle Seahawks plus 3, Tennessee Titans minus the 130 on the money line. I like the Bengals. The Falcons are probably going to bitch slap the Bears. The Bears might hang around for a little while, but as I was saying, and I got distracted by doing the math on his parlay here. As I was going to say, I was thinking about this game earlier today. Just have so much more talent than the Chicago Bears do. It's like an Alabama college game or something. So it's like, yeah, okay, even if the Chicago Bears play well for a little while, what are you going to do? You're going to stop Matt Ryan for 60 minutes. You're going to stop Devontae Freeman. You're going to stop Tevin Coleman. You're going to stop a healthy Julio Jones. You're going to stop Tyler Gabriel. You're going to stop Austin Hooper. You're going to stop Mohamed Sanu. You're going to stop all the young studs on defense. And the Falcons will be in a bad mood. That Quinn's a big motivational guy. Quinn's going to have them all fired up and stuff. It's just laying 7 on the road. I don't mind putting it in teasers, though. I believe the Falcons, good survivor pick. So listen, we've been in such big football mode, and we're going to wrap it up in a couple of minutes. As we stated, we're going to go longer on Fridays. And as we work the kinks out, we'll see the times of the shows. But the show's from 10 to midnight. I like to go a little bit over. But I like to go over. It's just, we never are able to get to everything. But hard to believe, because we're in Conor McGregor mode for so long. But it is UFC 215 this weekend. You're all really excited for the Demetrius Johnson-Ray Borg matchup. Mighty Mouse. 10-1 favorite, minus 1,000 right now. Somebody was saying they're in Canada. Here's Chris Blanchard. Both solid books, both books that I've done work with in the past. Bookmaker, Chris Blanchard, Bookmaker is good for Canadians. uwager.eu, solid. Joe D's using 5 books. You can never have too many books. We'll talk books tomorrow on the show, guys, about the need to have a lot of books. It just is. If you're a prop guy, there's going to be different prop numbers in the book. Some books might not have the certain prop. You're looking for a long field goal prop. Maybe only a couple other books have it, etc. There's always going to be a strength to a book about a sport. We're talking about MMA right now. Some books are better than others for mixed martial arts. Yeah, so we've been talking football, but for the record, guys, I'm more than just about football. I've hosted a mixed martial arts show on the Fight Network for a long time. No longer, but for a long time. So I'm a big MMA guy, but, UFC's in kind of a clusterfuck era right now. And this is what happens. You put so much stock into Conor McGregor, and you devalue all the other belts, and you do this interim shit, and Dana doesn't care about anybody besides Conor. Then nobody else cares about anything else besides Conor. How many of you guys are fired up for this card that like the UFC this week, even in the UFC? Hell, I cover the UFC, and I didn't even know that. I was like, I asked someone, I work in a Fight Network building still with Fantasy Sports Network. I asked the Fight Network guy today, I said, is there UFC this week? He's like, yeah, UFC 215. He started laughing. I'm like, oh, yeah. Demetrius Johnson versus Ray Borg. Although Amanda Nunes and Shevchenko, that is a quality fight, and I'm somewhat surprised to see Shevchenko's favored right now. I think Amanda Nunes dodged a bullet. I don't think she was 100% last time, and she knew it, and I think she is right now. I could totally see Nunes winning, and then people bitching about it. She only won because fucking she dodged her the first time. And I've watched Shevchenko closely, and I bet on Shevchenko a lot, but I think people are underestimating Amanda Nunes in this fight. She's plus 100, too. You're getting the champ as an underdog here, plus 100. Rafael Dos Anjos and Neil Magny. Neil Magny's a good fighter that went on a run, but he really never really beat anybody that good when he went on that little streak that he went on. I think Dos Anjos will be able to take him down and do the Dos Anjos thing. Although we got to be honest, Brazilians aren't the same since they test more for steroids. Here's a fun fight, actually. Here's a fun fight. We'll get into the UFC as the week goes. I just want to throw it out there to remind everybody, hey, the UFC, there's a UFC card this week. Don't forget, you can also mix in maybe a UFC parlay with a football game, too. Gilbert Melendez, class act, Gil. Great guy, Gil Melendez. Minus 105 against Jeremy Stevens, minus 115. Totals 2.5 in that fight. Caitlin Vieira and Sarah McMahon, yawn. Henry Cejudo and Wilson Heath, yawn. Run and yawn. Man, I always give Canada these boring fucking fighters. Sarah Moras versus Ashley Evans-Smith. Sarah Moras is a Canadian girl. Big underdog here, plus 195. That'll be interesting. We'll keep our eye on that. Yeah, this really is a crap-ass card. See, when I was on the Fight Network, I know we're UFC, we had the rights. I had to say, big card this week. Now I'm not on the network, and I'm not associated with UFC, so I don't have to say big card this week. Yeah, Nunes and Shevchenko's a decent fight, but Melendez and Stevens, this should be a fucking free FS1 card. Like this feels like a fight night card. MMA cash and bets in the house. John Marino. Let's see, you guys like to bet on him. You guys are betting on the UFC. Yeah, tomorrow on the Fantasy Sports Network, Gamblu will join me. Maybe we'll start getting some MMA guests here later in the week, actually, mix it up. We all love football, but there's other stuff going on too. Mitch Clark, plus 150. You're on Alex White, minus 170. Cajun Johnson, the Raging Cajun. Cajun Johnson, plus 325 against Adriano Martins. Wow. One thing I look at this card, I'm noticing there's a lot of short totals here. All right, Ray Borg, Demetrius Johnson. The total's 4.5. Generally, Mighty Mouse fucking takes it the distance. He's been more aggressive. And there's a lot of criticism about Demetrius Johnson because, he didn't want to fight Dillashaw. And even Dana White's been ripping him, saying nobody gives a fuck. And that's another thing, Dana. Dana White himself said, nobody gives a shit. He said this publicly. He goes, I told Mighty Mouse nobody gives a fuck about him fighting Ray Borg. And now you got it as a main event. Fuck. Amanda Nunes and Shevchenko, that's the best fight on this card. Dos Anjos and Magny's all right. The Melendez and Stevens, but they're both older. I just wonder how much, Melendez has left in the tank right now. I have a lot of respect for Melendez, but he's been pretty inactive. Jeremy Stevens at least has been active. Red Sox got something going on here again. They're actually into the 16th inning right now. All right, so before we wrap it up, let me just check in on the mainstream sports world and see if Roger Goodell's fucking done anything else stupid in the last couple of hours. Did Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend's tweet cost him a job with the Ravens? I don't know. I don't care. I'm not a Colin Kaepernick hater, but I don't want to hear about his fucking girlfriend tweeting. I don't give a shit. See, so what's the deal, Goodell? You still haven't made a decision on that Tampa Bay game yet? Boston Red Sox and the Blue Jays, they're in the 16th inning right now. We talked about it earlier. Red Sox have been nailed for using an apple for stealing signs. I don't know. People are debating, is stealing signs cool? Yeah, they've been stealing signs for 100 years. They've been stealing signs for 100 years. I don't have a problem with it, but if you're using electronics, a little bit different situation, isn't it? Now, I'm just amazed, actually, And I wanted to ask Siri a question, except, of course, now that I'm on the air, it's like the first time that this fucking bitch has never answered me before. But I'm surprised that the Red Sox were actually able to successfully steal the signs using an Apple Watch, because Apple sucks. The fucking piece of crap toy, man. I swear to God, like, if I was in on this scheme and I was John Farrell, I'd be like, so what's the deal here? What are we doing? Well, Skip, we're going to use these Apple iWatches and, we're going to relay signals into each other. I'd say, listen, I love the idea, but let's use Samsung. I don't trust Apple to work. I can't even get this thing to turn on or off right now. Like, look, I'm hitting the button. Nothing's happening. You're stealing signs with this thing. No wonder the NFL uses the Microsoft tablet. The fucking, like, seriously. Oh, double play. We're going to 17. We're going to 17. Yeah, but I suggest that the next time the Red Sox go to Yankee Stadium, that people fucking throw apples at them. And, I'm talking like you throw real apples and you throw apples at them. Like, I'll gladly throw my apple at a Red Sox player. I'll gladly throw my apple against the wall right now, to be honest with you. Yeah, like, I don't know. I wanted to ask Siri. I thought we'd have some fun asking Siri some questions here, but she won't even answer me. She's like every other real-life woman. I guess Apple's pretty realistic. Apple's pretty realistic. Like, it's to my, seriously, this is fucking depressing. I'm just realizing this. It's so pathetic. I can't even get Siri to fucking take my call. It's like every other real woman in my life. Ignores me, doesn't care. Like, seriously, I swear to God, I'm such a loser. I remember once I set my alarm with Siri, and I was like, well, at least I got you, Siri. No, not even, fuck. Not even. Hey, Siri, thanks. Yeah, the thing is with Golden State, dude, they're not going to get any action if they make it minus 250. Minus 250 is too much to make people hold their money for that long. Yeah, people aren't overly happy with the DAZN in Canada, the NFL stuff. All right, so like I said, we'll jump into the UFC as the week goes on. I'm going to be doing a UFC preview show on the Fantasy Sports Network tomorrow with Lou from Gamblu.com. So I'll have some deeper knowledge as the week goes on. I've been in football mode, guys. We focused in on a lot of NFL talk tonight. We talked about Roger Goodell and Ezekiel Elliott and the stupidity of all that stuff. Tomorrow night, we'll talk some more college football. Ian Cameron Babano from SBR will join us tomorrow night via Google Hangouts. Got some big college football games this weekend. We've got the UFC, baseball playoffs around the corner, man. Baseball playoffs around the corner. And you know what? I don't mind that the Dodgers are losing a little bit. I'm a Dodger fan, and I wouldn't mind getting a little bit more value. Now everyone's jumping on the Indians bandwagon. Dodgers are plus 250 to win. Astros are plus 450. Indians are plus 525. Cubs are plus 700. Red Sox, cheating nation, plus 750. Like I said, we established earlier in the program, we learned a lot of things tonight. Roger Goodell is incompetent. The Washington Redskins own the Eagles. I think the Niners are going to upset and beat the Panthers outright. The Boston Red Sox are cheaters, and It seems that every team in the history of Boston has somehow cheated somehow. Well, you got the Patriots. You got now you got the Red Sox. We talked about Boston College. Boston College, those guys have been busted in multiple fucking game point shaving schemes. Going back to the original Boston star of them all, Kennedy. Big cheater, Kennedy. Probably whacked fucking Marilyn Monroe too, but that's besides the point. that's besides the point. Ian Cameron talking big. Redskins won't hold on this Sunday. No, the NFL is not the best run league. The NBA by far is the best run league. Tom Marino says, the NBA sucks, but you don't back it up with anything. I don't know. The thought is that Marilyn Monroe was going to talk. Yeah, Siri's dead. Fuck. The NBA is the most entertaining league of them all. The NFL is a shitty product. The NFL is like Apple. It's overhyped. Just because something is the richest doesn't mean it's the best. All right? The NFL is an overhyped product. The Super Bowl is, usually pretty good recently. The playoffs are all right. Primetime games suck. What's so great about the NFL? Besides betting on it, making money on it. What's so great about it? The great Thursday night games? You mean the pile of shit that they serve every Thursday night? The pile of shit that they serve every Monday night? Last year, the first 8 weeks of the season, the fucking Chicago Bears were on TV 4 times and the Eagles were on 4 times. Nobody gives a shit about the Eagles and the fucking Bears. What? Television ratings have been in decline in the NFL for the last few years, Tom Marino, not because it's so entertaining. All right? The NFL is boring. It's 3.5 fucking hours. They play about 17 minutes of fucking action, actually. At least college football, there's shit going on, Listen, I love the NFL. I'm just being real. The NBA is far more entertaining. It's a shorter, more condensed game. It's more friendly for television. And that's why the younger demographic is fucking way more into the NBA than the NFL is. It's a fact. You go walk down the street, ask a fucking kid, how many kids do you see wearing fucking Tom Brady jerseys? Besides the ones that their cheating fathers bought him in Boston. Nobody. Nobody gives a shit. The only time I ever see, I'm a grown man. I'm wearing a Dante Culpepper shirt. I haven't seen a fucking teenager wearing a Raider jersey. I see every fucking second kid wearing a fucking Steph Curry jersey. I was just in Vegas, man. Every fucking kid, man, had an NBA fucking shit on. No NFL, NBA. Kids like the NBA. The NBA is going to surpass and kill the NFL soon. No one gives a shit about the NFL in China. They're up all night watching the NBA. The NBA is a powerhouse, Tom Marino. The NBA is a powerhouse. The NFL makes a shitload of money. There's a great shot from Vegas somebody just sent me. The NFL makes a shitload of money. I'm not disputing that. But there's a lot of bad trends for the NFL that they've got to deal with. And they can blame Kaepernick. They want to blame Kaepernick for everything. But it's not Kaepernick's fault your ratings are down. Your product kind of blows. That's what it comes down to. I will say this. The NFL, they have a better primetime schedule this year. They know this. Like, the ratings have been so terrible the last couple of years during the regular season for not terrible, but by what the NFL promised the advertisers. So think about it. You're a sponsor. You paid for a fucking massive buy, and you're not getting it. You're not getting it. So the NFL understands that. That's why they're going to scrap the division stuff on Thursdays. They're going to give better matchups. ESPN is bitched about the shitty games on Monday night that they keep getting. So ESPN's going to get some better games. But the future of the NFL is like the future of media. It's online because the television networks, they can't make the money back. So like the NFL makes money now, Tom Marino, but they're going to outgreed themselves to get to the point, sort of like the Olympics. The Olympics makes money. They make money, but nobody else that touches them makes money. And once you're a business that people know, we'll give them a shitload of money, but we're not going to make any money back. ESPN, they can't pay the NFL fucking $6 billion anymore and all this stuff. They can't do it. They're losing money. The sports media thing is crushing. The NFL will have to sell their games pay-per-view online, and they've already started to do it. But nevertheless, as Boys to Men so eloquently stated, if this is it, this is the end of the road. Yeah, you're exactly right, Kyle. You're guaranteed the NFL's fucked in 2021. The system's crashing. It's like the real economy. Like it's a bubble, the NFL. Like the players, Blue Jays. Blue Jays. Runners on first and third in the 17th, but there's 2 out right now. It's like soccer's coming on. The demographics change, But anyways, I appreciate all you guys tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll start to get into a groove as we get going. NFL Week 1 around the corner. We'll be back here tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern. Ian Cameron Babano is going to join us. We'll start talking more about this UFC card this week. We'll start getting more serious. It'll be our last crack at the Patriot game. So hopefully we can get some props for this game in our hands soon. And we'll start getting serious, man. Thursday, college football, baseball, UFC. It's a great fucking time to be a sports fan. Great time to be here at SBR. Check us out at the Fantasy Sports Network. I'm on live tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern time. And I'm on at 8 o'clock on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network. And I'll be right back here with you motherfuckers at 10 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night. Other than that, you're on your own. May the winners be yours.